Today's episode comes to you from the Blue Chew studio. Right now, when you buy 2 months of Blue Chew Gold, you get the third month for free with the promo code WRESTLE at BlueChew.com.
Welcome to Something to Wrestle With.
Something to wrestle with.
Bruce Prichard. Well, you know.
That's not a rib.
No, you haven't been.
There's no box of gimmicks.
Rumor and innuendo.
I don't deal in rumor and innuendo. And was he there? I was there.
Say something about
I don't give a shit.
Welcome to Something to Wrestle With.
Something to wrestle with. Something to wrestle with.
Something to wrestle with. Bruce Prichard.
Hey, it's Conrad, the mortgage guy, and you're listening to Something to Wrestle With. John Layfield. John, what's going on, man? How are you?
Bradshaw 316 says, I just stole your fucking podcast. And Bradshaw 369 says, quit flogging your mule.
What? Did you say 369?
Yeah, 369.
Okay. I didn't know that was a thing.
There's 316 and there's 369. Different verses.
Okay. Wow.
Complete different things.
I'll have to check that out. We're appreciative that you guys are checking us out. Of course, this is a big month for professional wrestling. AEW's got a big pay-per-view this weekend. And of course, next weekend is the granddaddy of them all. WrestleMania is now a 2-night affair. And John, we know what are the main events for night 1 and night 2. Of course, this was a lot of debate and discussion. What's going to be on the night 1 card? What's going to be on the night 2 card? We know night 1 is Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton with Pat McAfee in his corner. Yes, we are going to talk about that. But the main event of night 2 is Punk versus Roman. So you've got both titles on the line, both men's titles on the line in the main events. Which main event are you looking forward to most as a fan, John?
You know, I think Randy Orton, and no offense to Cody, and no offense to Pat and those guys, but I think Randy Orton. Randy, I tag team with Bob Orton when I first got to Japan, and Bob really took care of me. His dad did so much for me, and I just remember Randy breaking in the business. And Randy's a good dude, and he's been such an incredible champion and worker. I have no idea who's going over. Don't care, but I'm looking forward to Randy Orton headlining another WrestleMania. I love Cody, love what he's done. I love the fact that Cody went off and bet on himself and came back, and he's now headlining all these WrestleManias. I just lean a little bit toward Randy because of the association with his dad.
Well, I think this brings up a good point. I've never asked you this, but I am curious to pick your brain. Why do you think Randy Orton is so beloved by the legends of the business? I mean, if you're talking to a guy like Ric Flair, or you're talking to Eric Bischoff or JBL or Jeff Jarrett, like the guys of that generation and of that class, it almost feels like when they talk about the current WWE roster, they talk about Randy Orton and then others. Why is Randy held in such high regard by folks of your class and your generation?
Because of who he is. I mean, he's just a good dude. Randy's a good person, and Randy is a guy that is incredibly respectful. So here's Randy, 15-time world champion? Is that right? 14-time world champion. It could be one of the greatest of all time. When you show up to an event, he treats you like you're the greatest of all time. These old legends, guys out, and put myself as at least the old category. When I show up, Randy's always just so respectful and so nice. And he does that with everybody. He shows respect to everybody. Maybe that's being a third generation wrestler. Maybe that's just growing up the son of Bob Orton Jr. I don't know. But Randy is so respectful to these guys and defers to them so much. I think guys just really have an admiration for that, and they really root for Randy because of that.
Well, I think we're all rooting for a big WrestleMania. I would say, I know there's been a lot of criticism heading to this WrestleMania. It feels like some people are unfulfilled creatively as far as the fan base goes. But when you look at the actual in-ring of the 13 matches that have been announced so far, I think you could make the argument that this may actually be one of, if not the strongest in-ring cards that we've ever had at WrestleMania. First of all, you've got 2 nights, so you've got a lot more options. And even though there have been previous WrestleManias that had a lot of matches, they were very often very brief. These are going to be spaced out at like 7 matches a night. So you're going to have more time to have longer matches and tell better stories. I just feel like for whatever reason, this WrestleMania is going to exceed all expectations. Am I in the minority on that? Do you think?
Absolutely not. You've got some incredible workers, and you look at the top of the card, and the top of the card's got to be able to follow all these matches. And I think the top of the card in both these times have got the best matches that WWE has to offer. I think CM Punk and Roman Reigns, these are two incredible workers. I mean, these guys can go. These guys can deliver in a big spot. I mean, Roman Reigns is the ultimate main event guy, and so is CM Punk. I mean, I think the close off 2 nights of WrestleMania, there's a lot of pressure on people. I think these two guys are going to be able to handle it. I think they'll have a very long match. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And I think the first night's main event will be as well. I think this card will deliver.
What's interesting is this is going to be the first WrestleMania on ESPN. And I know there's a lot of people who are upset about the Pat McAfee story. We'll still come back to that in a minute, but I think this is a huge opportunity for WWE and for that matter for ESPN as well, because not only is this the first time we're seeing WrestleMania on ESPN, of course you've got to have the ESPN Plus app, but the first hour of WrestleMania is free and live on ESPN. Like that feels like a make-believe sentence to me, John. And I know you and I, grew up with SportsCenter really becoming a thing and ESPN becoming a part of our culture. And for guys like us who just sort of grew up watching SportsCenter every morning, first thing as soon as you wake up to see what's
oh
going
my
on,
God, yeah.
it feels like
than the other side of the pillow, along with Chris Berman. I mean, oh my God, I've watched so much SportsCenter over the years. It's fantastic, this partnership with ESPN.
It's a big opportunity for WWE. And I think sometimes we as fans, because we're so in the bubble, we forget this could be massive for both WWE and ESPN, don't you think?
Oh, I think it's huge. Absolutely huge. I think ESPN has done such an incredible job getting this and then building out this platform. I think it's done an incredible job with getting Pat McAfee. I mean, that guy is an absolute rainmaker. I mean, I think there's some incredible talent that is at the top of the apex of all this making decisions. Obviously, the ESPN guys, I do not know them, but Ari Emanuel, I mean, that guy is a freaking rock star. Nick Khan, I mean, good Lord, man, that guy's brought in so much freaking revenue and so many opportunities to WWE. I mean, I think wrestling fans should be very thankful. I don't know what their perception is of Nick. In my opinion, he's a wonderful person. I like Nick, but man, what an executive. And I think Triple H has done a great job. I'm not, people say, oh, you're a WWE shield. Look, I think they're doing a great job. Whether I've worked for them or not, I think they've done an incredible job, and they built this business into something that I never dreamed that it could be. And that is this massive global behemoth, and they've done an incredible job. I think it's a wonderful opportunity both for ESPN and for WWE. And by the way, when you put rainmakers together like Pat McAfee, who've created this, I mean, that guy left a Hall of Fame NFL career to go off business on his own. I mean, man's got balls like grapefruits, as they used to say about our chairman. And for him, put him and Ari Emanuel together, and Nick Khan and Triple H, I mean, this is a real dream team. They're doing some great things.
One of those great things they're doing is the first hour of WrestleMania is going to be free on ESPN2. And when we say the first hour, now we know some of those matches. The very first night on match 1 that you will be able to see for free on ESPN2 is Logan Paul teaming with Austin Theory. They are your tag champs, teaming with iShow Speed to take on the Usos and LA Knight. Also on ESPN2 will be the unsanctioned match between Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu. You want to talk about closing out the free show with a bang. Yeah. I can't imagine anything better to get people motivated to buy the rest of the show than perhaps Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu. That's going to be huge. I think mainstream will be talking about that match.
I think they will too. And you put everybody in there that's in those matches. This is a phenomenal card by itself. I'm talking about the first hour that's free. I mean, to put Logan Paul in there, I'm such a big fan of Logan Paul. I mean, that guy has built this incredible business. He does incredible work in the ring. I mean, it's just amazing what he's done. But the Usos, to me, Conrad, those are the guys, those are the carpenters in there that are going to make all this work. Like I remember, I've told this story many times here on Something to Wrestle With. By the way, Bradshaw 316 says, I just stole your fucking podcast. But the Usos used to be on the pre-show. And they'd stick guys out there for like 20, 25 minutes. They had no angle, no nothing. And me and Michael Cole would sit out there and we would call the pre-show. Nobody watched this in the back because they were getting ready for the show. So they're getting ready for last-minute promos, last-minute rewritings and stuff as they did back in the day. I went back one time and I remember telling Vince, I said, have you seen these Rikishi's kids work? And he goes, yeah, I have. He goes, but are you telling me something? I said, Vince, you got to watch them. These kids are awesome. I mean, they go out there every single pre-show, and they'd put them out there because they were so good. They'd put them out there with no angle. People are coming into the crowd. This is not an announced match, and all of a sudden there's a match in the ring, and they would get the crowd every single night in those conditions. I mean, that's one of the best tag teams I've ever seen. I put up there with Ricky and Robert. I put them up there with anybody in the history of wrestling. They're so good. They're the right people to have in this match to make the infrastructure, make the carpentry work. I think this first hour is going to be amazing.
And how strategic is it that the first match that you're going to see on ESPN at WrestleMania features two of the biggest social media influencers of our time, iShowSpeed and Logan Paul, in the exact same match? The entire internet's going to be talking about that. And if they stick around for Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu, that may be the match I'm looking forward to the most, McIntyre and Fatu. But now we know what's for free on ESPN2 on night 2. This is a new announcement that I don't think you've maybe even seen, John. This broke while we've been recording today. Brock Lesnar is going to open the show on ESPN for night 2 with Obafemi. You want to talk about putting your best foot forward? I mean, Brock Lesnar has been absolute box office going back to his UFC days. And the idea that now they've got Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania for free on ESPN2, this is going to do gangbuster business, don't you think?
Brock Lesnar is one of the biggest draws in wrestling history. And at one point he may have been, I'm not sure if he was or not, but at one point he has one of the biggest draws. And at one point was the biggest draw in UFC history. I mean, this guy is he's a freak. I mean, he's an absolute freak. The fact that he wrestles as few times as he does per year, and he still has the best matches of the year, and what he can do and how he makes people, how he makes himself, how he does whatever you need. To put Brock Lesnar out there, ESPN has hit an absolute home run with both these first hours.
I can't wait to see how this shakes out. I mean, I know we're going to talk more about WrestleMania next week, but I know there's been a lot of discussion about the big fight feel about Oba and Brock, and I'm here for it. But can you imagine if Oba beats Brock on ESPN? Like, this will be, you want to talk about making a guy. I can't even conjure up a scenario that would be bigger.
I can't either. I think you're going to make him either way. And I don't think it's obviously it's not going to hurt him if, no matter what happens, whether he goes up or down, makes no difference, or whether you have a DQ. I don't think you probably will. I think you'll probably have a finish. I have no idea which way they'll go, but I don't think it matters either way. I think Brock's going to make him, and I think he's going to come out of this a huge star. But can you also imagine Brock Lesnar if he beats him in the middle? I mean, all of a sudden now you've got this guy who's been the biggest badass in professional wrestling for the last 20 years. And he's just as big now as he's ever been. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities here that's going to come out of this no matter what happens.
I want to also bring up and mention that we've got a big opportunity with WrestleMania around the corner to introduce new people to wrestling. Like, I know a lot of my wrestling friends, they keep in regular touch with me about the show, but at least once or twice a year, usually around Royal Rumble time and WrestleMania time, I'll hear from a friend who I don't normally ever hear from. Hey, is WrestleMania this weekend? Because they want to check it out. I think this could be a really big opportunity that happens at scale because of the ESPN deal. So with whatever concerns maybe that WWE may have about the lack of ticket sales, this ESPN thing happening at the exact same show where there's all this discussion about ticket sales, I think is maybe going to be the silver lining that people don't expect.
Yeah, it is. And I've been around WWE for a really long time, and Kevin Dunn was just fantastic. Kevin Dunn was, I think, one of the greatest executive producers in television history, not just sports in history or wrestling history, in television history. I think he's that good. He and Vince together were a great team. And these guys now, Lee Fitting, and these guys now that are doing the production are just as good. I mean, they're amazing. Maybe better. I don't know. But they're fantastic. It's hard to compare slightly different eras, but they're fantastic. They're going to make this look like the greatest show ever. It's exactly what Kevin did. It's exactly what Lee Fitting and these guys do now. They do incredible jobs. Production is so important. They're going to make this look with the scale, with the camera angles, with all the different stuff they're going to do. People are going to put on this show and think, this is the greatest show on earth. If you've never watched it before, you will be absolutely blown away by WrestleMania, as you have been by WrestleMania since the very first one. I think you'll be blown away. I think the tradition continues. This is going to bring in a lot of fans. When you turn on this on ESPN and you watch this first hour, there's going to be so much interest in this, and you see Brock or you see Drew McIntyre or you see Pat or whoever comes out, people are going to look at this and go, this is something that I need to be watching if it's this big a deal. I think it's going to look that great.
I think it's a huge opportunity for both sides. It's also a big opportunity for Pat McAfee to help sell some tickets for WWE. He has become, really 24/7 promotion on his Pat McAfee show, which is the #1 show over on ESPN. So there is a constant barrage of plugs. So I understand the professional synergy here. I also understand that his agent, even though he's not really an agent, but he is represented by Ari Emanuel and his organization. And allegedly, when Pat is looking to leave his ESPN deal, maybe he'll land a Netflix deal. Who knows? But somehow, some way, Pat McAfee has found himself involved in the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania. And for whatever reason, a lot of fans are not happy with this, John. And I'll admit, some of the language that Pat used, not in a foul way, it just felt like it sort of spit in the face of wrestling tradition. And maybe that's what he's looking to do. But he is a heel. He is a bad guy. And the idea that fans are online are hating that Pat McAfee is involved and don't want him near the main event is probably the desired result as a heel, don't you think?
Yeah, you think? It's just, it just blows me away. When a guy gets heat like this, people go, oh, no, it's go away heat. No, it's not. You're talking about it. If it was go away heat, you would not be talking about it because you would not like it. You would do not even mention it. It's real heat. And people look out there, they want to have heels. Talking about fans, they want to have heels, but they want to be in on it. They go, hey, listen, he's a great heel. If you're saying somebody is a great heel, they're not a heel because you realize they're playing something. And when you come out there and you're able to strip away the veneer of that person's playing a heel to that person's just an asshole and I don't like them, that's when you're winning. Killer Tim Brooks used to always tell me the key to being a heel is when they take away the fact that you're playing a character and they don't just say it has nothing to do with Killer Tim Brooks as a wrestler. I don't like that man. I hate him. And then you ask them, well, would you pay to see somebody come in, Bruiser Brody come in and take on Killer Tim? Oh my God, I'd pay double. You're right. He can't draw any money. But that's the key to being a heel is that people don't realize you're being a heel. People just look at it and go, I hate that guy. Well, he's a good heel. No, he's not a heel. I hate him. I think Pat's doing an incredible job.
I think a lot of people are curious what's next. We saw Cody come out and cut a fiery promo. It seems to have gotten everybody talking. I think anything that creates that sort of dialogue is probably a good thing. There was also a lot of chatter about CM Punk's pipe bomb promo this past Monday, where he was saying, hey, drop the ticket prices. That's not something a lot of people probably expected, but I think that's what you're looking for with a Punk promo. Did you have a chance to see Cody's promo or Punk's promo? And what are your takeaways from that?
Yeah, I didn't see him live. I watched it on social media, which is how I watch most of my content because I like to gamble on sports. So, but I do watch it. I like to watch it. I usually catch up with it on social media or through clips, and I caught up with it through clips. I think it's fantastic. Look, you need something to stir the pot. You need something to stir excitement and stir conversation. And I think that's what you got. When it's just stereotypical heel and babyface, or you're cutting promos here back and forth, and all of a sudden you say something that seems like it's too far inside baseball, and people start saying, I think he wasn't supposed to say that, or I think that was off script. I think that's just the attitude era. And not just the Attitude Era. That's just good wrestling. And I say the Attitude Era because that was very famous for it. But anytime you have wrestling, you'd say, "Oh man, those guys went off script." Whether they did or didn't doesn't matter. People are talking about they thought they did, and it created some type of excitement and buzz.
No, I totally agree. I tend to think if you're getting people chatting, that's cool. I do wonder sometimes if it's counterproductive. I'm not sure what in these scripts was approved or not approved. I have a feeling it wasn't scripted at all and they were shooting from the hip.
Could
But
be.
I also know that that's what we as fans want. Like, we want to believe. So I'm not going to be upset that you hooked me. And I think there's more people talking about WrestleMania now than there was a week ago, whether it's positive or negative. Everybody's going to watch. This is not the show that people skip. And although it may not be a sold out show, I got to think the viewership on this WrestleMania is going to break a lot of records and impress a lot of people because the card's loaded.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think it's going to do incredibly well. And I think you've done a great job of creating buzz around this. And Conrad, I don't like behind the scenes stuff. I don't want to. I watch Blacklist when I do cardio, and I don't want to know what Raymond Reddington's going to do next. I don't want to know who's going to die this season. I don't want to know any spoilers. I want to be hooked now. And obviously, that's a very scripted show. It's in the can. This is live, so it's different. But the same with wrestling. I don't want to know what's coming next. I want to be hooked. I enjoy being hooked. And if someone comes out and says something, whether it's behind the scenes or whether they're supposed to say it or not, if it's entertaining, I don't care. So to me, just put something on TV that's entertaining. I think this stuff has been incredibly entertaining. It may be 100% work. It could be 100% shoot. I have no idea. And I don't care. I'm entertained.
Well, I would have lost a lot of money 12 years ago this week if I were a betting man and you could have bet on WrestleMania back then. It's hard to believe it, but it's been 12 years since the Undertaker streak came to an end. I was there, WrestleMania 30, New Orleans. It was my very first WrestleMania. I'll never forget being in the crowd and just a hush fell over the crowd. There's that famous reaction shot that everybody remembers, but it really was that shocking. Like, we all thought, hey, they made a mistake. They're going to have to call an audible. I thought they had Dusty finished the finish, but when that was not the case, and I saw the graphic appear on the screen there that you just saw, I said to myself, I just saw freaking wrestling history. When did you find out the streak was ending, and what was your reaction?
When Michael Cole said the streak, and I'm sitting right beside him calling the match, and the streak is over, because Michael Cole was going to say the streak continues. Me and Michael had no idea what the finish was. Sometimes you want to know finishes because you take care better of, say, especially the loser in a match if you know the finish. But when it's between two top talents, it doesn't really matter because you're putting them both over in a big way. You can call a match. You call a match slightly differently if you're taking care of a guy that you know is doing a job when they're not equal, especially when they're not equal talents. But we didn't know the finish, and we didn't care to know it. Michael Cole was literally saying the streak, and I knew what he's going to say. I've been out there with him, 1,000-something matches. Continues, and he said, "Is over," and he just looked at me, and I looked at him like, "What? You got to be kidding me! This is insane." That's the last thing we expected. We just assumed it was going to be 22-0, and all of a sudden it's 21-1, and the damn thing ended. It was an unbelievable moment. I remember going backstage and telling Taker how proud I was of him and what a wonderful thing he did for the business, which is true. And, he was, it was an incredible moment to be a part of.
Unbelievable to think it's been 12 years. There's going to be more WrestleMania moments this year too, I'm sure. John and I are going to be breaking it down next weekend. John's going to be on location in Las Vegas, and you don't want to miss us because we're going to be live right here on YouTube. So if you haven't already, go hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications bell. John's going to be out there doing a lot of publicity tours as well too. So if you're in the area of WrestleCon, come check him out. I think he's even going to be making an appearance at WWE World. You never know where John's going to be, but we may be checking in a few times here live on YouTube. And of course, we're going to be talking about WrestleMania. We hope you'll make plans to join us. Hang out with the wrestling god for free right here on YouTube. All right, check it out, man. It's that time of night. Hunger strikes. You're exhausted. It's been a long day. and there's probably the healthy ingredients you need in order to make dinner in their fridge, but you just don't have it in you. Well, for me, eating healthy isn't really a willpower problem. It's more of a setup problem. That is until I found Factor. You see, with Factor, I can hit my nutrition goals this season without the planning, the grocery runs, or the cooking. Megan actually first turned me on to Factor, but I got to tell you, I'm absolutely all in. You know, if I'm going to eat it, it needs to taste good. And what I love is they've got something for everybody. You see, Factor builds meals around your goals. You may be looking for weight loss or overall nutrition. Maybe you're looking for more protein, or how about some GLP-1 support? My mom loves Factor too, just for that. For strength and recovery, man, there's no better option than Factor's Muscle Pro collection. Double J's bragged about it on his podcast. That's his go-to. No matter what you pick, every meal is crafted with functional ingredients. You'll get your lean proteins, your colorful veggies, your whole foods, your healthy fats. Factor bans over 175 different ingredients. They've got no artificial colors. They've got no artificial sweeteners. There's no high fructose corn syrup. There's no refined seed oils. We're just talking nutrient dense food, but maybe best of all, it's fresh and never frozen, not just whatever you have to get stuck with. That's what I hate. A lot of these other options is like, do you want A or B? Well, not at Factor. They've got over 100 different rotating weekly meals, and they've even got globally inspired flavors. They've got a Mediterranean menu. They've got an Asian menu. There's always something new to try, but they've also got a new salad deal here too. I think you should check it out. You're going to love the convenience. This is maybe the best part for all of us. Supper's ready in 2 minutes. Factor is going to handle all the shopping, the prepping, the cooking, and it delivers right to your door. So you've got more time to do everything else you want this spring. Seriously, 2 minutes and you're eating. Head on over right now to factormeals.com/wrestle50off. Use our code wrestle50off and you'll get 50% off. Plus you're going to get free daily greens in every box with the new subscription only while supplies last until September 27th, 2026. See website for details. Factormeals.com/wrestle50off. So John, last week on the program, you made some headlines. It even made it over to Yahoo earlier this week. And
did it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it says WWE Hall of Famer warns wrestlers against doing power slap fights. And the exact quote, of course, later down from our podcast last week is, but I'm against the power slap. I just think that's what they're going to try to do, is they're going to try to take somebody out who's got a good chance of knocking him out. They're going to try to rig it against him. Tons of guys that have gotten from WWE and from wrestling, they bring them in and they give them some ringer, and that guy could throw a shot, and they know pretty much has a good chance of knocking him out, and that's what happens. Well, one of our listeners, a friend of mine, took issue with that. It turns out he's a producer for Power Slap. Let's welcome from the pro wrestling world, my friend and yours, Sin Bodhi. Sin, how are you, man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Man, we're fantastic. Thanks for jumping on with us. And I think
Thank you for having me.
actually briefly worked together once upon a time in WWE, right?
Yeah. I met JBL as Kazarni when I was coming up from FCW, and yeah, he was. I mean,
Greatest nickname ever.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know if I could say percent and Carney. I'll give myself a seizure trying to figure that one out, but yeah, no.
It's always like with percent. Do you do like both syllables? You know, Kurt Hennig could. You know, Kurt Hennig was the best Carney talker ever, but you always wonder about how many is that stick in there.
I think I almost was, you know, when I met you, I was thinking, is he going to be nice? Is he going to be mean? What's he going to be? You know, and you just, as he parts, you just run all these scenarios in your head, and you smiled at me, and you came over and you said, "Good morning, Kazarni." You just smile on your face, and I thought he's either really nice or he's having mercy on me for me being saddled with that name, and I couldn't figure out which it was.
No, I love the name. I thought it was great. I thought it was really unique, and I knew that Vince would love that name, that whole gimmick.
That was Vince's brainchild. Like, I was a legit circus sideshow performer. I was a strong man, a pain tolerance guy. Like, my threshold is ridiculous. I'm not a macho guy, but I have a good threshold. And so when I had my sit down with Vince in the first place, Jake the Snake, who is my coach, said, look, Vince is a big mark for the carnival stuff. Pro wrestling started in the carnival, so don't say sideshow, say carnival. And so we talked, and we had a really great first meeting. And then the next day at TV's, he's like, we're going to call you Kazarni. It's Carney for Carney. You get it, kid? I said, yes, sir. I giz at it. Yeah, big time. I got it.
You know, it's funny because Vince, one time I was talking to him and somebody had said something to me and he said, John, you got to understand, you're in their world. What have you done as a wrestler doesn't matter. Because I was upset because I thought that they had, treated me as an old wrestler. And I said, Vince, if somebody treated you like a wrestling promoter, and he looked at me and I said, see, I can't even say it to you. You get so mad about it because Vince hated being on wrestling. So that's really interesting that Vince had this fascination for the carnival as well. And all of the working that went on with the carnival, because there was that kind of love-hate relationship that Vince had with the entire genre and wanting to take wrestling into entertainment. It's just kind of unique.
Yes, sir. Well, I think that whole concept of the work and the con or the gag, however you want to call it, I think they sort of defined it in the carnival, because if they legit kicked the crap out of each other, they wouldn't be good for very long. So I think they figured they could facilitate more shows and sell more tickets and work the fans out of more money if they threw the work on top of it. And I think that was all sort of contrived in the carnival. So I guess like you said, it's a love-hate relationship with that. So
yeah. So tell me where I'm wrong about Power Slap, because I want to mention, first of all, I'm not against Power Slap at all. People have their own rights to do whatever they want. My point was, for WWE wrestlers, you better be careful, because you get out there, you get knocked out on national television. And my thought was that the guys would load a ringer up against the wrestlers to get over their product, because that's probably what I would do if I had it. But we're talking to you a little bit pre-show. I don't want to give any bit away. Tell me where I'm wrong.
So I think when I heard you guys speaking about it, I thought that you were thinking like that old school, like, all right, where's the con in this? Where's the work? And there is no. It's legit contest.
I don't mean to cut you off. I never thought it was a work at all, and I don't have any problem with Power Slap. I thought that you guys would load a ringer up against.
That's what I mean. Like, I just mean like the con of like, where's the swerve in this? Like, who's gonna get thrown under the bus? That's what I meant, and it couldn't be farther from the truth. Like, when I got hired, Dana White and his team hired me because they got in their heads that they wanted new and interesting talent to compete in Power Slap, and they thought pro wrestlers, they're fun, they're crazy, they're jumping off of ladders and tables, and they can cut promos, and they're probably on the indie level anyway. They're probably doing it for peanuts. So why don't we give them a big opportunity with big money and see what happens? So enter Sinn Bodhi, because I fly out somewhere every week, and I think I'm like the Bull Durham of pro wrestling at this stage of the game. So that suited them. Like, I fly to some town, I wrestle on some big or small show, I wrestle some local good guy or bad guy. I tell them, all right, more of this, less of this, tighten this up, do this, don't do this. I do seminars. So being basically like a player coach, I think they figured I'd be a perfect guy and I've got a shoot background. I've got a martial arts background, a bodyguard background. So I think they figured I would be a good guy to be able to scout talent. And two, I give a shit about the wrestlers. I give a shit about everybody. I think it's my curse sometimes. So they wanted new talent to come in, and I took the job because it was explained to me that I would give the opportunities to guys and girls that maybe an opportunity passed them by, or something got screwed up, or what have you. And trust me, as Kazarni, I understand, that opportunities don't grow on trees. So it was exactly opposite. And now, I mean, Power Slap is under that TKO umbrella with everybody, UFC, WWE, PBR, Nitro Circus. There's a lot of adjacent, crazy shows under TKO. And we have a working relationship with WWE, with talent relations. So something early on I facilitated was, hey, like talking about back in the day, talking to Road Dogg and Matt Bloom and these guys, saying like, hey, when you are doing your house cleaning and you get rid of, especially the younger guys and girls, they're out in the cold, and that's a hard thing to process for a young wrestler. And, they're going to try to, shoot for a high payday on indie shows. That's going to be, quickly realized is not happening. So let's give these guys and girls a lateral opportunity under TKO to, again, make big money, still be on the radar. And so that's what we're doing. So it's exactly the opposite of throwing guys and girls under the bus. And a competition is a competition. So there's going to be winners and there's going to be losers. And that's just the stiff reality of it.
So the point that you're saying is that you guys would not want, say, your talent necessarily to go over on WWE former talent or wrestlers like that, because the wrestlers are bringing more eyeballs because of what they have done.
Yes, sir. And and different wrestlers. I mean, I'm an individualist. I'm a capitalist. Whether it's an independent wrestler, whether it's a non-wrestler, whether it's a former WWE wrestler, I'm looking for guys and girls that want to break out of the mold. And again, it's snug, it's stiff, it's not a cakewalk by any means, but there's rules, there's regulations, there's the sanction is so strict, and the wellness policies are so strict, the medical policies are so stringent. So nobody is getting this. This isn't in real life where it's going to be Rey Mysterio and Kane. And in real life, I don't know how that would go, but that's not how things are booked here. Like, things are booked with weight classes, sizes, experience levels. So like for Jake Hager, for example, like, as awesome as Jake is, we didn't want to put him in there with somebody that has super duper experience at Power Slap, because even though he's former WWE champion, he's 3-0 Bellator, he's All-American. Still, just, I think you sort of said, standing up there and just exchanging shots, just, you have to take the other guy's best. So I think Jake can do that. But at the same time, when somebody's, got a few reps under their belt, they might just have figured out a better technique so far. So we wanted to give Jake somebody that would have comparable experience and, size-wise experience. And so who Jake is going against is Devin Jenkins. He's I think he's maybe a hair heavier, he's a hair shorter, he's a vet. And again, these guys, they're just looking for opportunities. And I've had some of the naysayers say, well, it's dangerous, it's scary, it's dangerous, it's this, it's that. It's no more scary than having some guy in sparkly undies pile drive you on in the middle of the ring, let alone on the concrete or catching a dive or doing all these things. Like, the medical stats are really, really positive for Power Slapping. I just have to say, I love pro wrestling. I don't want to ever speak ill of it. As Gangrel would always say, like, I owe wrestling everything, it owes me nothing. So I'm not here or anytime, wanting to, poop on pro wrestling. I think pro wrestling is amazing, but not every one of these guys and girls has room for a top spot at WWE or AEW or wherever. And those spots are so limited, but this is a legitimate chance for them to, make a great payday, to rise the ranks. I mean, I think the one champion, the light heavyweight champion, I want to say he made 6 figures last year, so it's not too shabby as opposed to toiling on the indies.
Carney, I'm glad to hear this. If you weren't there, I'm not sure that I would believe that who was there. Okay, because to me it seems like it's a vested interest, to take care of your guys first. But you saying this, I trust you, and I'm proud to say that I was wrong. And I'm glad to hear that. I was never against Power Slap. I just got warned the WWE guys or wrestlers, and I still warn these guys. Not because of somebody that you might stick a ringer in there, which I thought might happen, but it's like when Mark Henry went to do the World's Strongest Man, I believe the second time, it was, Mark's told the story that Vince said, "Now we don't have a place for the second strongest man in the world."
Right. Right.
It is a risk. I mean, you're rolling the dice, but that's how you make it in life. Now, Jake Hager, that's a big tough dude. I can't wait to watch it. I was going to watch it no matter what. I love Jake. He's a good human being.
Absolutely. I broke in Jake back in the day. I went at NFCW is where we met, and I wrestled him a whole bunch. And Dr. Tom and Kern would put me in there and say, "All right, show him this and smooth him out and this and that." And they knew I could take the hits, and I would be calm about it and nice about it. I think Jake ran me into a buckle one time so hard. He picked me up in a bear hug like I was Rocky and he was Thunderlips. And he's so tall, he ran me in that buckle and turned me backwards. And I don't think I slept in my tummy for about 8 years after that. So Jake is a hard hitting dude, and I'm no slouch, but man, he picked me up like I was a box in the back of a U-Haul. So he's strong as they come.
And Jake did well in MMA. I mean, Jake's he's a really talented, tough guy.
He can take a hit. He can take a hit. And again, like you said last week, like, standing there just taking somebody's best. Like, I think if anybody can weather that storm, it's Jake Hager. And I think you mentioned Heath. So you mentioned Heath Slater last week. So I was the one that called Heath. He was one of the first people I thought to call because, he's looking for opportunities. He was in between, NWA or TNA and WWE and everything. So I thought, he's got kids, so get the guy a payday. And I think he would draw. I think people would go, holy crap, there's some actual, not just indie guys, not to condescend or downplay indie guys, but there's some actual WWE names on there. Like, man, I got to stay tuned and see what's going on with this. But to your point too, if a WWE guy goes down or repeatedly, that doesn't make wrestlers look so good. So it is certainly within my best interest to,
it's a real risk, as anything is, when you do an outside competition like that, you go out and you fight MMA or something, Jake Hager took the same risk when he fought MMA,
sure.
He loses those matches, it hurts him, his ability to draw in professional wrestling. He won those matches and won them easily. And so it enhanced his ability, but it's a real risk, same risk Mark Henry took when he entered the World's Strongest Man. I believe it was for a second time. When he wins it, all of a sudden he becomes the man, the man, but if something would have happened, of course, that's why these guys like Michael Jordan and these guys who are great athletes, that's why they roll the dice like this, I put Mark Henry certainly in that category, World's Strongest Man, but that's the risk you take. How is Power Slap doing?
It's doing phenomenally. I think we're just under 2.4 billion views on YouTube. I mean, there millions and millions and millions of dollars have been put in the bank. I mean, it's doing really well. It's growing by the week. Like every show, the numbers go up and up and up. And between sponsors, ticket sales, all the YouTube clicks and all that kind of stuff, like they're generating money hand over fist. We're taking it all over the world. We've been to Saudi. We've been all over the States. We're going to expand, and we're still going. This year, I believe we're going back into Saudi. Just given the situation over there, so we're just waiting for the coast to be clear, so to speak. But I want to say we're going into Europe and beyond. So I mean, this is a great way for these guys and girls to again just take an opportunity that might not have been there otherwise. Like, I mean, how many main event spots are there at WWE or Raw or SmackDown or NXT or LFG or Evolve or any of those shows? There's only X amount of spots. And, again, like I was saying, when these guys get that released, man, if you're a lawyer and you get canned, there's a million other law firms. If you're a stripper and you get canned, there's a million other strip clubs. When you're a pro wrestler and you get canned, there's not a lot of options. So what can you do with our bizarre set of skills? You maybe be a stuntman, be a bodyguard. If you got good gift for gab, you can be a real estate guy, I suppose. You could sell a clothesline, you could sell a house, so how many things can we really do with that? But it's not in the ring. And this is at least competing and having fans cheer. And, it pays very well. This pays super duper well. And I've got no problems discussing that pay scale too. And I mean, that's the allure as well. Like, feeding your family.
Yeah. I noticed you put lawyers and strippers together.
They're pretty close, right? They're both selling lies, right? So
yes, they are.
Isn't that why pro wrestlers and strippers always got along, right? We're all just selling lies and skimpy spandex. So
that's right. That's why me and Ron ever went to the strip bar. Like, we're workers. We don't need to go watch more workers work.
There you go. Yes. Are you different? Are you special? No, she's thinking about her laundry. She's thinking about picking up her
That's
her
right.
baby or whatever. She's working and selling, and the fans are, we're all marks, right? So there you have it.
Stan, I can't help myself. You said you're comfortable talking about the pay scale. I know that there's a lot of maybe misconceptions about this out there. I know on the WWE and the AEW, just on the pro wrestling side, it's based on negotiation and it feels kind of arbitrary. Once upon a time in the UFC, they had like an entry level. Hey, if you're trying to get your feet wet in the UFC, here's kind of everybody's first UFC deal.
Sure.
And then you can build from there. And obviously when you get to the tippy top and you're a proven draw, then you can participate in pay-per-views. That's of course the old way the UFC did biz. What is the power slap model from a compensation standpoint now in 2026?
So as guys and girls move up, the payday does go up, but right from the bottom, the lowest of starter pays is you step up to the plate and it's one match a night. It's not like any kind of tournament style or anything like that. It's you're sanctioned for one match per show. Win, lose, or draw. You step up to the plate, it's $5,000. If you win, you're walking away with $10,000. And if you're one of the lucky ones that gets a bonus just for a performance, however, Dana sort of sees fit, you're walking away with $20,000. So for an indie guy to make $20,000 in one night, he, on the indies, he's going to wrestle for 1,000,000 years. Like that's how that's going to go. If indie guys are making between $20 and $200 on an indie show, I'm just talking about just straight independent wrestlers that have no TV time to sort of lean on. But yeah, $5,000 to play, $10,000 to win, $20,000 for a bonus. So for instance, Stunt Marshall, he was an independent wrestler. Wasn't getting any opportunities for anything. He's a decent wrestler and he's a hilarious dude and great guy, very flamboyant character. I booked him on there and he knocked his opponent out with the first swing in the first round. Boom, $20,000. Then he came back the next month and knocked out his second opponent, first swing, first round, boom, $20,000. So in a month, an indie wrestler made $40,000 for, taking a risk. And now he's got promoters knocking down his door. He's got bookings left and right. He's got merchandise left and right, so he's off to the races. And that's what I hope for everybody, really. Like if I could wave a magic wand and have everybody be successful, I would. But again, this is a meritocracy. You put in the work and you got a mean hand and a solid chin. You're going to make money.
Sin, this was all born out of us talking about Jake Hager making his power slap debut. I know that's going to happen next week. I want you to tell us about that, but we are on a pro wrestling podcast. Can you rattle off some of the former or current professional wrestlers who have participated in power slap?
And how they've done.
Sure. Okay. So, and some of them have done great. Some of them have done not so great. And again, there's got to be a winner. There's got to be a loser. Marty the Moth, former Lucha Underground heavyweight champion. He was a tough enough guy back in the day. Awesome wrestler, awesome guy. He won his first match against Zicky Dice, who is another, crazy wrestler. They did that over in Abu Dhabi. Marty won, but it was a pretty hard hitting contest. And Haley Hood, Hollywood Haley J. She's from the Netflix OVW show, The Wrestlers. She's from WoW, and she's 1-0. She won one, she lost one, and she'll be competing this week, same card as Jake. And she's fun to watch. She's good TV. She's crazy.
I saw her down in OVW working for Al Snow. Her mother is an agent down there. I guess her mother was a wrestler as well. And
yeah, her mom wanted to do it. I'm like, you can't do it. There's also like part of the sanction is the age factor. No disrespect to Mama Haley J, but like for instance, for me, like when I signed on to do this, I said, well, if I'm going to book these guys and girls to do it, then let me do it. Like I'm not gonna. I'm never going to ask anybody. Like I book shows, I book, pro wrestling shows. I do all sorts of stuff. I'm a jackass of all trades. I do a lot of stuff, but I can't expect somebody to do something I wouldn't do. Like, I teach at a wrestling school in Las Vegas, Future Stars of Wrestling. I don't teach moonsaults because I can't even spell moonsault. I've never done one. I did one once and I almost killed myself with Brian Danielson, and I'm never doing it again. So, I wouldn't expect anybody to do anything that I wouldn't do. I could take a hit just fine. I mean, I've been in there with King Kong Bundy and the Road Warriors and the Steiner Brothers and Earthquake and guys that I don't know were technically human, and I'm still here. And they were all super sweet and super nice, but man, they hit like that house falling on the witch in Oz. Like they hit you like they're dropping a piano on you, as you would know. And I'm still here. So, and again, just doing some of the other shoot stuff that I've done, like I could take a hit. And they said, well, your age range, you're out of the sanction. You can't compete. And so it's sort of the running gag that every time I go into UFC for a meeting about Power Slap, they always say no to my first question is can I compete? And they say, nope. So the age bracket is 21 to 40. They will push it to 43, 44 if there's some extraordinary circumstances. For instance, Jake is in his early 40s, but I mean, Jake Hager's Jake Hager. He's former WWE champion, 3-0 Bellator, All-American. So I mean, that's a get. And he was my first, when I got the job, Jake was the first guy that popped into my head. He was my first call and he was my first pitch. And Dana and his team were like, yep, we want him. And so here he is.
And what other wrestlers? You had Haley J.
I'm sorry. We all get dropped on our heads for a living, right? Sorry, my train of thought sometimes. So who else? Mecha Wolf. I think you were referencing Mecha Wolf. So again,
I rode with Mecha Wolf to the airport when he was on his way to do it, do the Power Slap. Well, we're down in Mexico together.
Yes, sir. So he got clobbered in the first round. He never got to fire off a shot, but he won. Like he made the 10K because the other guy got disqualified. The guy hit him illegally and knocked him out. So he won. But I mean, who would want to win like that? So he was itching to come back. And the next match he had against was another independent wrestler named Edris Wolf. And I personally think Mecha Wolf should have won that. I think it was a judge's decision, and sometimes I don't know that. Like in anything, sometimes the referees don't get it right. The judges don't get it right. On the scoreboards. But in my opinion, I thought Mecha Wolf won that second one. But they went pretty even. But I would have thought Mecha Wolf had the win, but the other guy got it by like a point.
Yeah.
Who else?
He's a good guy. Mecha Wolf's a really good guy.
Yes, he is.
And a terrific wrestler, by the way. A great pro wrestler.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's absolutely awesome. He'll be on the show as well. And there hasn't been a whole ton of wrestlers. Like I've had, I've had a bunch of wrestlers come in for the combines, and that's basically where they kind of get shown the techniques and the rules, and then they go through the media and the anti-doping, and they learn everything they need to do and how to practice, and they get with the coaches. And then from there, the team picks the matches. So there hasn't been a whole ton of pro wrestlers, but when I first arrived on the scene, it was met with both, oh man, that's going to be amazing. Pro wrestlers are going to be competing. And we were also met with, oh, a bunch of phony baloney wrestlers. We'll kick the crap out of them. So there was that dual mindset. And I remember a couple of guys were some were really friendly, and a couple of guys were a bit of a burr in my saddle. And I just remember asking the office, I'm like, look, how do you want me to handle these guys? Can I fire back at them? Can I, you want me to kill them with kindness? Or do you want me to just be silent? And they said on social media, don't respond like a fighter, like communicate with these guys. So, as we've had private conversations, I'm pretty sure that they see it my way now. And they realize that pro wrestlers have brought eyes to the show, and it's only made the shows bigger and bigger gates, bigger paydays, bigger views, bigger sponsorships. Everything's growing. And so, who could complain about that?
Nobody can complain. And of course, Power Slap's going down next weekend in Las Vegas. It's next Friday night at the Cosmopolitan. At least 2 pro wrestlers on the card. You've seen her, Hollywood Haley from The Wrestlers on Netflix, and Jake Hager, former WWE World Champion, going to be doing their thing in Power Slap in Las Vegas. Tickets are on sale now at powerslap.com. And if you're not in Las Vegas and you want to watch this event, how can we watch, Sin?
It's on the Power Slap channel on YouTube. You can watch it for free there. And just to answer JBL's question, just so I'm not totally, I can focus just a tiny bit, again, with all the chair shots and pile drivers and the darts thrown at me and all that silly nonsense. But Marty will be on this show again. Lance Anawahi will be on this show. Shira from OVW from the Netflix, The Wrestlers, will be on the show. Facade will be on the show. Chelsea Dodson, Zoe Dubois, Jeslyn Michelle, Desiderata, aka Desiderata. Becca Wolf will be on the show. Danny Moe will be on the show, and Roddy Piper's daughter, Teal Piper, will be on the show. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I remember. The main team, there's Dana, Hunter, and Frank, and they're like, she's coming out to bagpipes, right? I'm like, hell yeah, she's coming out to bagpipes. They're like, let's go. So they were very happy about it.
I had no idea. I got to tell you, I'm looking forward to this. I've seen a ton of clips of Power Slap. I meant to go last year in New Orleans and missed you. Travel didn't work out, but I'm not going to miss this one. This sounds like it's loaded with performers that I actually enjoy. But how about the daughter of a legend? Sign me up. Roddy Piper's daughter mixing it up in Power Slap. Did you know this was coming, John?
Had no idea. Absolutely no idea. This is something Roddy would have done. There's no doubt about it.
So again, to go to your, to last week, you're talking about like stacking the deck against, wrestlers or what have you. Again, with all of them, but especially like I'm old school, I'm chivalrous. I really don't want to see a woman get hit. I don't, like watching women wrestlers, they're awesome. They're scarier than most of the dudes. I think we all know that, like I'm afraid of no man or beast, but my little 5-foot midget wife scares the shit out of me. So I appreciate how dangerous the women are. But as far as Teal, I'm respectful to all the guys, all the girls, but Roddy Piper was really, really good to me back in the day. He was always kind. He always had words of advice. And what little ego that I do have, Roddy Piper put me over to the moon in front of my wife backstage. We shared a box together at the WrestleMania that Jake was inducted, and he was so kind and so complimentary, and he said it right in front of my wife, which to me was sort of a mental championship belt. And I mean, he was the first wrestler I really, really latched onto as a kid. Like I remember watching War to Settle the Score and watching him with Hogan, and I grew up with Edge, so he was a big Hogan mark, so I was a big Piper mark, and we would always butt horns about that. I can't tell you how many times me and Edge fought in the backyard in a recess, and he was Hulk Hogan and I was Roddy Piper. But I told her, I said, look, you're here because you're talented, you're here because you deserve an opportunity, and I'll be watching out for you because I really, really loved your old man, and so like I got you. So I made sure, everything was sorted for her, made sure she was comfortable, answered all her questions. And the last thing I would want to do is offend somebody that I respect. And, I know Piper will be watching from the ether. And the last thing I want to do is cross the pearly gates and then have him hot at me about something. So I want him to be happy watching this kid get a great opportunity.
Well, thanks for jumping on with us, man. This was a fantastic surprise. I think nobody really knew what to expect. I hate that we went viral for some negative comments, but we have educated the pro wrestling world today on Power Slap. Hope you guys will check it out and support these guys and gals trying to make a living. It's going down next Friday at the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas, or watch for free on YouTube. Sin, thanks for all the time today, man. This was great.
No problem. Could I tell you this one thing really quick before you guys kick me out? Nick Khan is a big Power Slap fan. UFC, WWE, and Power Slap, everything is all on, under that TKO umbrella. So when wrestlers are thinking that, if you do Power Slap, it's going to hurt your chances at WWE or what have you, it is not. I would say from what little that I've been around Triple H, I've coached at the PC, I've been around him. I was around him for a tiny bit as Kazarni, but really more around him, at the PC. I would just have to say that he would admire somebody for having the testicular fortitude for trying something, whether they were good at it or not, versus being too scared to try. And again, and being too scared to take any opportunity it would get to follow the dreams, whether it led back to WWE or what have you. So I just want people to know that, if you're an aspiring wrestler, this is a really great place to be seen. This is just another crazy adventure that you can make something out of, and it's up to you. That's all I got to say. So I'm ready to do the job. There you go.
if somebody's listening right now and they're interested in talking to you about Power Slap, do you have an email you want to share, or what does that process look like?
Sure, they can. I'm a pretty personable guy. Some of the office guys won't respond. They're busy dotting I's and crossing T's. I respond to everybody. Just send me a DM in my social media. On my Instagram, it's Sin Bodhi, SINNBODHI. You can also you can submit on the website, on the powerslap.com website, and just put attention Sin Bodhi. Either way, I can leave you my email. That's fine too. It's sbodhi@powerslap.com. And there you go. So yeah, if you want to take a chance and you want to feed your family, and that's it. Like this is life-changing money for a lot of guys and girls, let alone opportunity. Like, I mean, I totally understand if you've got a lot of money in the bank, or if you've gotten yourself to a certain pay grade in life and you don't need to take this chance, no problem. But if you are hungry and you're trying to pay those bills, you got kids, whatever it is, then this is a really, really great opportunity.
Yeah, and Carney, I want to bring up not only if you need the money, but a lot of guys just want to compete. And,
yeah,
like I said, I never want to be the face of something negative. I hated that shit. That shit came out last week about that, because I was never against Power Slap. But a lot of guys want to compete, and a lot of guys see an opportunity here that they think they can do well at this, and that doesn't matter about money to them as far as that's concerned. Some of it is about you make pretty good change. Some of it also is about opportunity, and that's
Absolutely.
why a lot of guys get into boxing or get into MMA or get into basketball or get into football or anything. It's a lot of it's just opportunity.
And here, look at it like this as well. Like, if you're wrestling said wrestler, are you winning? No, you're going over or you're doing the favor. And who's deciding that? Not either of those wrestlers. It's the guy or girl with the pencil. Whereas this is not that. This is, if you got the better hand and you got the better chin, you are winning. So there was a big allure for me in that. I love pro wrestling, and I'm thrilled to wrestle whoever any promoter puts in front of me, but not that I'm Chuck Norris or anything. But if I had a nickel for everybody I laid down to that I could have legit beaten the shit out of, I'd have a lot of nickels, So for a pro wrestler that is not getting the opportunities he or she deserves, or what have you, this is a meritocracy. You put in the work, you reap the rewards. If you want to compete, you just legally want to hit somebody, this is the place for you. You want to get a giant payday, this is the place for you. If you want a giant opportunity that is adjacent to WWE, Hollywood, whatever, this is the place for you. So there's so many levels of allure to this.
Can you set it up where we have like just everybody punches Tony Chimmel?
I would love it. And Kyota too. I saw him on there. I'll see him. He'll be a guest at the show on Friday.
Oh, he will.
A bunch of other legends will be there too.
Mike's the best guy. I love Kyota. Everybody does.
Yes, absolutely. He was just. I got him some VIP tickets to it because they want a bunch of legends in the front row for this, because usually they bump Power Slap right up against UFC, but seeing as it's WrestleMania week in Las Vegas, they're bumping it up to WrestleMania, obviously. So Dana and his team wanted to lace the front row with a bunch of legends. So Jake the Snake will be there, Godfather will be there. A lot of wrestlers will be there, and we need a referee to keep them all, behaved, right? So Kyota will be there.
That's right.
I love that. Well, check it out, Power Slap, next Friday on YouTube. Thanks for all the time today, Sin. We appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
JCW Lunacy. New episodes every Thursday night at 7 p.m. on YouTube. For over 25 years, JCW has delivered the very best in pro wrestling entertainment, bringing fans deep storytelling drama, gut-busting comedy, and unbelievable in-ring action. From wild characters to unforgettable rivalries, don't miss a single moment. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. on YouTube. JCW Lunacy.
All right, John, one of my favorite segments every week here on Something to Wrestle. We call it Wrestle Worth, and I love this. It's like antique roadshow for wrestling memorabilia. Of course, this craze really got kicked off when the WrestleMania 1 boots from Hulk Hogan sold for over $1 million. And who exactly sold that? Heritage Auctions. And today, from Heritage, our pal Tony joins us again. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
Great to be here. This is my last day in my 40s. Tomorrow I turn 50. So,
oh, well, happy birthday.
Happy early birthday, Tony. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
We hope you have a big strip club celebration for your
I will be in Independence, Ohio for a sports show this weekend. So,
probably not. Probably not.
Probably not.
Well, what I am excited about, though, is each and every week you're telling us and showing us some really cool items that history has lost and now found. And I got an interesting text last week, John. Tony sent me a text and said, boy, do I have a surprise for you. So I'm waiting here with bated breath. What'd you find, Tony? What do we got?
So we got Pat Patterson's WWF WWE Hall of Fame ring. And the family had it. They didn't really know what to do with it, and they sent it in. And the thing about this is one of the earliest known Hall of Fame rings that has ever surfaced. I believe it started in 1994. Andre the Giant was the only enshrinee of the first class. And Pat Patterson, of course, the first Intercontinental Champion, referee at WrestleMania 1 in the main event, and he was in WWE as up until the end. Just what a figure. And again, I mean, Hall of Fame rings are very personal and they rarely get out there. And this one, when they called us about it, I jumped. I'm like, they were up in Canada, and it's a beautiful ring. But I think what really sets it apart from a lot of the other ones that have surfaced, this is the earliest known. And anytime you've got something from the beginning, it's always really special. And it's a beautiful ring, great engravings on it. And it does have his name on the inside, on the inner band of the ring. So came directly from his family. This is going to be in our Platinum Night auction coming up in August. And we're very excited to have it.
John, this is pretty cool because this really predates the Hall of Fame that we know now. This goes back, I guess Andre went in the very first year as the solo inductee. And then they did it for a few years. Then they kind of shelved the idea, John, and the Hall of Fame was reintroduced in 2004. And I think that's when they started instituting rings. John, to the best of your knowledge, and I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but do you imagine in 2004, WWE went back retroactively to everyone who went in the Hall of Fame prior and delivered them rings? Because as far as I know, Pat Patterson, I mean, even this ring says WWE on it, has the WWE logo on it before the scratch and all that was even a thing during the Attitude Era. So I'm curious, do we think that Pat may have received this in the 04 timeframe? Does that make sense to you?
Are you judging by the way the WWE logo looks?
Well, I just know they didn't do rings until 2004, and Pat went in 93 or 94 rather. So I think back then it was just a plaque. So I'm curious when obviously Pat is the Yoda of professional wrestling, but I'm curious, when did they retroactively go back?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I don't know the answer. I would assume they went retro back in 2004 because Vince was very good about sending stuff to people. He was very good about giving stuff to people, especially to wear memorabilia stuff. He's incredible. It's part of, for one, Vince is a very generous guy, but he's also very good at marketing and knows that that's important. I was at the 96 Hall of Fame, I guess, when Heenan could barely talk and got 2 standing ovations in the middle of his speech. It was absolutely unbelievable. Those old Hall of Fames were fun. They were banquets. We'd get together and have banquets, and guys would give their speech. Everybody would have too much, get overserved with drinks, and then they get the plaques. So I would assume that this came out in 2004, the ring that went to Pat.
You know what's funny? Bobby Heenan went in 2004. I think that's awesome that you said, hey, you remember Heenan being inducted, and that's the same year that they introduced the ring concept. So
Heenan was unbelievable. Conrad, you got to go back and listen to it. You can barely understand him. He was losing his voice already, and he was, not, having the effects of some health issues. He got 2 standing ovations in the middle of his speech. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. That's why I say when you're talking about who's the greatest announcer of all time, you're talking about who's number 2, because Heenan's number 1. Ain't nobody's going to take that spot. But yeah, the Hall of Fames were just awesome. And to have this ring from Pat Patterson, Pat is, except for maybe Vince, probably the most influential or one of the most influential characters in wrestling. Pat did everything. I mean, when I was there, when I first went in, Pat literally would take over entire matches. He did all the main events. Pat was he was an unbelievably intelligent human being.
The first Intercontinental Champion, the man who created the Royal Rumble, and he went in the Hall of Fame back in 1996. And I got to tell you, John, I got back into wrestling in 1996. So I was in tune with this. It was the night before Survivor Series in Madison Square Garden. I think you were with the company. Were you at the 96?
I was there. I was at the banquet. Yeah, I had a blast at it. It was a lot of fun.
Jimmy Superfly Snuka was in that class, along with Johnny Rods, Killer Kowalski, Captain Lou Albano, Pat Patterson. How about Vincent J. McMahon, inducted by Shane McMahon? That was a big class, man. And this is a great ring, a great find. What a legacy Pat Patterson leaves behind. Chris Jericho has famously referred to him as the Yoda of wrestling. Dave Meltzer said, besides Vince McMahon, Pat Patterson is the most influential person in the last 40 years of professional wrestling. So with all that said in mind, what do you think the value of this particular Hall of Fame ring would be, Tony?
We're going to do a 20,000 estimate on it, but I think it's going to far exceed that. We have sold rings in the past. We had Dory Funk Jr.'s ring, which sold for right around 20,000. But keep in mind, Dory Funk Jr.'s ring was like 5 years ago. So it's really developed a lot more since then. It wouldn't shock me if this did 30,000, maybe even up to 40,000, given that the industry is so much different than what it was 5 years ago. And, it's a big name too, as well. I mean, Dory Funk Jr. is a great name too, but Patterson being involved for so long, I think it's more of like a $30,000 to $40,000 ring.
Wow. What a cool item. That is a really, really cool surprise. I do actually have a surprise for you, but I think you have one other item, including perhaps the most rare autograph of all.
Yeah, this one really surprised me. Somebody sent in a photo of this, and it was Andre the Giant. Now, Andre, kind of after the back surgery in 86, 87, it was extremely difficult to get his autograph. He didn't want to be bothered and people gawking at him and everything. And it was really hard to get his autograph. So when this inquiry came in, I was floored. And this one is authenticated by PSA DNA. It's an Andre the Giant photo, but it's circa 1992. This, I believe, was signed when he was in Japan, right at the end of his life. Look at the hair. Look, he looks older, and he looks in a little bit rougher shape. This is definitely after the WWF days. This is right toward the end of his life, and when it was extremely difficult to find and to get his autograph. And you might see an occasional promo shot from 1987, 88 with the black strap singlet. But this one here is the latest Andre I have ever seen. And that one came in this week, and that's probably a $10,000 to $15,000 photo. For the longest time, Andre autographs were, $5,000 for a nice 8x10. But we've had extremely good luck with selling Andre photos. We've been getting about 10,000. We did sell a Jean Ferret for 15,000 last year. So just, it's so hard. It's so hard to get an Andre autograph, but it's so difficult to get them passed by the authenticators, because there's a lot of fakes out there, and there's a lot of people trying to pass off Andre autographs. It's not that he had a ghost signer or anything like that. It's just, as the years went on, the access to him was very, very small. And one of the things I love doing is looking at some of the wrestling fan photos that people post on Facebook all the time, and you'll see Hogan, you'll see Savage, you'll see Vince McMahon, you'll see Stephanie McMahon. The one you never see with fans posing is Andre the Giant, and for some reason, they kind of kept him. I think he wanted his privacy, especially as he was, kind of aging a bit, and he just didn't sign a lot of autographs. And this one here, because it's so late in his life, I would expect it to be in the $15,000 range. But again, everything in wrestling is up now, and we're very excited to have this one.
Tony, do you have a group of people that that are going to would pay this? I mean, like I say, this is going to sell for $15,000. Do you have like a list of people that want things like this that for sure are going to buzz? I mean, that's a terrific price, but a big price too. What is the audience for this?
There's a huge audience because Andre the Giant, you've got the Princess Bride, you've got fans of that, but the wrestling fans, because his autograph is so hard to find, there's a built-in market for him. I mean, him on a scrap of paper is $2,500 to $3,000. And, anything early, anything late it takes on a whole different level of meaning. And yeah, I've got guys that are looking for anything they can get of his, going back to the Jean Ferret days. And, sometimes he just signed Andre. He would do Andre the Giant. We actually have a really cool one coming up, which will be at WrestleCon. We have his California Athletic Commission application, and he signed it Andre Rusimov. But it's all in his handwriting. And then he signed Andre, and that's going to be coming up. And that was from 1988. But there's a tremendous amount of people looking for his autograph. It's kind of the white whale, the holy grail for fans and collectors as well, just because they're just not out there.
Well, how about that? If you've got an Andre autograph, you got to be happy right now. And by the way, if you've got something in your man cave, something on your mantle, something on your shelf, and you're wondering, hey, what is that worth? Well, you can find out here. Email us, wrestleworth@gmail.com. We're always looking for your stories and your items. I've already got one lined up for you up my sleeve next week, Tony, but I thought, why not actually give you a real surprise today? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program. Maybe the best WWE referee of all time, the one and only Mike Chioda. Mike, how are you, man?
All right, guys, what's happening? How you doing, man?
What up, Hood?
What's up, Hood? Good to see you, brother.
Awesome.
Good to see you, my brother. How are you, Michael?
Good, brother. Last time I
Hey,
see
Mike.
you,
Hey,
good
Mike.
man.
I got bad news for you. I'm sorry to tell you this. Chimmel is still alive, and I'm sorry to tell you that. I feel terrible that I got to give you this bad news this early in the morning, but Chimmel he's still with us.
I know. He's actually getting hip surgery this week.
Oh my God, that's like a giraffe with strep throat. That's like major surgery.
I know.
that's like an elephant with a runny nose.
Man, I miss you, brother. Goddamn, always popping me. Fuck. How you guys doing? Conrad, Tim, happy birthday coming up, by the way. And I second that all about Pat Patterson, by the way. And I love Pat Patterson. He was an icon, a mentor to me. One of the best wrestlers I thought of his time, and one of the best agents and producers of all time. And Mike, he's first, Michael Hayes is second. And that thing about Andre's autograph, you're absolutely right, man, because you know how many times I've wanted to get Andre's autograph, but it was too scared to get it.
Wow.
I have a picture of me and Tony Chimmel actually carrying him at the time when at his end of his career out of the ring. He was, I had him on one under his shoulder. Well, I mean, I was still far away from his shoulder, but we had him under the arms, and I had a photo of that. Somebody had gave me a photo, and I never got it signed by Andre. And it is a tough autograph to get. I was just too scared at the time, especially in my green days,
Well, we're excited to have you here with us. We've got real WWE royalty with us. And imagine my surprise this past weekend, Tony, when I got a text from my buddy Mike, and he said, hey, man, hypothetically, do you know anybody who may be interested in the referee shirt I wore for the WrestleMania 18 match between Hulk Hogan and The Rock? So not only does he have his referee shirt from maybe the most famous WrestleMania match of all time, but it's also autographed by both performers, The Rock and Hulk Hogan. But that's not enough. Mike had the foresight that night to say, you know what? I'm keeping a turnbuckle from this match too. He's got an actual turnbuckle from the match between The Rock and Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 18. You see the autographs there. There's an inscription there. And when you think about provenance, Tony, and you think about the history of what the item is and how we got the item, it doesn't get better than it was the third man in the ring. And you can even see the inscription here. Mike, why don't you tell us what that says?
Yeah, it says, well, the first one says to Chi-Chi, thank you for making history. And a dream come true, The Rock, your boy, The Rock. And the other one says to Coyote. Now, there's a little bit of a story here, right? And when Hogan signed, when I started in 85 with the Hulkster and everything, Hulk Hogan and all the guys back in the day, Razor Ramon, Greg Valentine, and going way back, Demolition, but a bunch of Hogan called me Coyote. So he nicknames me Coyote because I was always going out late at night, howling at the moon and stuff like that, chasing those young girls and in all these different countries and everything, and still getting up doing production. But I was just always out late at night, So, and then so when Rock comes along later on in the years, he says, man, he was like, Coyote, your nickname's Coyote? I was like, yeah, I got a tattoo on my back, Coyote with wolves and, this and that and coyotes around it. And I said, yeah, he goes, man, I don't like that nickname. I said, what do you mean you don't like that? I was like, that's my nickname. I don't make my nickname. I didn't make it, I said, Hogan made it up years ago. And he goes, I like Chi-Chi. Chioda? He goes, I like Chi-Chi. Chioda. Chi-Chi. And I'm like, Chi-Chi? Can't call me Chi-Chi. I'm like, that. I don't like that name, So next thing you know, we started calling me Chi-Chi everywhere. And then everybody picks up on what The Rock says. And my nickname turned out to be Chi-Chi at that point for years. And then it turns around. And then later on, like years later, the girls start calling me Kiki. I'm like, fuck Kiki. When Shane McMahon comes back with AJ Styles and he comes back and he has this big match with AJ and I had knee surgery. He makes me come back early to do his match, calls me. And then we're at the shows one day before the WrestleMania comes up and everybody's calling me Kiki. And he's asking for Kyota to go, oh, we'll get Kiki. He comes up to me, he goes, who the fuck named you Kiki? And I'm like, he's like, what happened to Coyote? I'm like, oh, that shit was long gone, Shane. Shane was gone from the business for quite some years. And he was like, that is a fucking shitty ass name, Kiki. He's like, you got to stop having people call you that. I'm like, I know. I don't know how to do that, though. So the nicknames, that's where it started. From 85 to when The Rock showed up in the late, the 90s and stuff like that, I was called Coyote. And then it turned to Chi-Chi. And then at this point, I think it's still at Kiki, but some of the old school guys still call me Coyote. Some of them call me Chi-Chi. It's weird.
What a cool item. What an incredible match. Of course, we know Hulk Hogan.
What a great story.
It's
That's awesome.
Prices.
It's 3.5 decades. I went through 3 nicknames, Now I'm shithead.
That's right. I was going to say Tribble's dipshit. But you beat me to the curse word.
But Tony, what an item, what a story, what a legacy. One of the most beloved matches in history, 2 of the biggest icons in the history of wrestling. He was the third man in the ring. It doesn't get a better paper trail than this. What are you thinking the value of this may be for Heritage Auction?
So there are a lot of selling points on this piece. First of all, coming from Mike, that's the biggest thing. So many times people say, well, where'd you get it from? And someone will say, I got it on eBay, or I just got it. So that's the one thing. The American flag, the WWF logo just above, and there's a lot of personality on this piece. And the thing that really sets us apart, I say this all the time, talking about sports items, talking about wrestling items. Yes, you are buying the piece, but you're also buying the story. And that story that he just told us is priceless. And now, obviously, The Rock's autograph is very valuable. Hogan signed a lot, but the inscriptions that both of these guys did for him, coming from Mike with the turnbuckle, you're probably in that $15,000 to $20,000 range. Usually referee shirts don't go for a crazy amount, but this one is entirely different because the story, the autograph, the inscription, the turnbuckle, It's such a historic match. People pay for history. People pay for historic items, and that is an unbelievable piece with the patches on there, with Mike's, with those autographs on there. I would say 15 to 20,000 would be probably the right estimate on it. But again, you get two guys going after it, and who knows what it could go for. It could go for even significantly more, because it's not just the shirt. You got the turnbuckle coming from the referee. So it's a historic piece, and something like that is not really going down in value at all, because it's a match we all remember, two icons, kind of almost one passing the torch to the other, and coming right from him. And that photo, in our industry now we photo match. So yes, it comes from Mike. It's great, but they could actually photo match that shirt with the stripes, the patches and everything as well. There's a lot going here. There's a lot going on, and it's all positive. And I think 15 to 20,000 would probably be.
Mike?
Yeah, well, that's a good starting point, right? So the turnbuckle. I did crew for 23 years, right? My first 23 years, and refereed. I started in '87, made my debut on TV in '89, but I had the options to grab those turnbuckles because I did crew, and I knew something like, when Jericho bitched all night, all day, and said this match should not be the last match. The Hogan, there's no way we're going to be able to follow this, and I had after I wasn't really, I knew something that was special that night. Did I know it was going to be one of the best matches of all time in WrestleMania? No, I did not. So I did take two turnbuckles. I'm going to keep one for myself, that's for sure. It's just and even in that moment, in that photo, there's a little story behind that. I didn't want to get in the shot, in the middle of the shot. I was kind of trying to stay way off and let them focus on the face-off, which I see so many referees, right, in the last so many years, they want to get right up in the middle of that shot, and they're like, there was just like, I was trying to stay away. They weren't physicality or touching each other. And I just wanted to keep that focus more on their stare down, man, because what a reaction from that crowd that night. But,
hey, Mike, what were you thinking when they sat there and had a stare down for about half an hour? That just got better and better and better. That was one of the greatest moments ever, and it just came by two guys who knew how to work.
Yeah, we really right. We knew it. We all knew this wasn't going to be a high flying match and all that other stuff, and it was just on Hogan's entrance. I had chills. I had goosebumps when it was like, man, they did not forget Hulk Hogan, It was just, I had goosebumps in the ring. I was like, I marked out on that photo right there, that 8x10, just standing off to the side. I was like marking out totally. I couldn't even hear myself like thinking. I'm trying to think, okay, what are we doing? When are we going to start this? And they just stood there for so long. And the people just got louder and louder and louder. I was in the business 17 years at that time, 2002, from 85 to 2002, and never heard a reaction like that in 17 years at that point. And,
I'd never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
It was just unbelievable to sit there and watch it. And those guys to have the ability to be able to sit there and have the confidence to do nothing. I say do nothing. They're working. But
had the people, John, just like that. The people on the entrance, when they got into the ring and they stared down, it was like, holy shit, we really didn't know what kind of reaction, and we did not expect that reaction.
Right.
I'm sure.
It's like having Muhammad Ali against Joe Louis. It's something you thought you would never see. And all of a sudden you're seeing it, and then you're like, you got to be kidding me. This is freaking awesome. Nobody wanted it to end. The boys in the back didn't want it to end. The crowd didn't want it to end. That was what an incredible moment in wrestling history. Anybody, everybody remembers where they were when the Giant got slammed. Right. Everybody remembers also this match as well. It's that iconic.
Right. Yeah. It's. Did I ever know like it was going to be this iconic? No, I didn't. But when we watched that match back and you watched it over, my main part of the stress was sliding at the same time Rock was coming, because we had to time that bump perfectly. So, and it's kind of worked out worked out 100%. So it was just that's my nervous part of that match was that me taking that bump and making sure it looks great, because if I missed the Rock, it was going to look stupid. It was going to go to a plan B, called like an audible. So that was most part of the stress. Everything else just went like, when I had talked to Hulkster all the time, I'd come up to Terry and say, Terry, is there anything else in the match, brother? Anything else? Rock was more perfectionist. Hogan was like, brother, let's just go have fun, man. We're gonna go fucking have fun. Just have fun and let's call it out there, And I'm like, okay, cool. And you go back to the Rock and he's like, okay, Cheech, I'm gonna hit him this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that. And I'm like, oh shoot, all this from Rock. But Hogan was just like, man, we're just gonna go tear up and just have some fun, brother. And I was like, you got it, Terry, like Hulkster. It was just it was just great to be a part of that match. And they called me for that match. They wanted me for that match. So it was, when I got the word like 2 weeks prior, from Pat Patterson. He said, "You're doing the Rock and Hogan match. The place gonna go banana nut."
Pat spoke English, French, and some type of gibberish that I never understood.
Right, yeah. Carney.
Then you come in and go to bada bing, and he's in a bada bing. What is bada bing, bada bing? Right, I have no idea what you're talking about, Pat.
Right. And then you got to sit there and listen to about his cruises that he went on for fucking 30 days and all this karaoke, give me CDs, and I loved it.
And the same jokes. He'd tell you the same joke every single week. But he was so funny telling it. You laughed every week. You knew the punchline, you knew the whole joke, but you laughed every week because it was Pat.
That's so true. So true.
So glad we got to talk about Pat Patterson, Andre the Giant, and that legendary WrestleMania 18 match. Kyota, I'll get you hooked up with Tony and let you guys have some separate conversations, but we greatly appreciate you stopping by and telling some stories. And I want to remind you listening out there, if you've got an item that you wonder in your man cave, hey, what is this worth? Send us your item, send us your story, shoot us an email. It's WrestleWorth@gmail.com. Tony, you got a big week ahead of you. You're going to be set up at WrestleCon next week. Is that right?
Can't wait for it. Yeah, we get in Wednesday and we've got a lot of cool items that we're going to have there. Of course, we're going to have the Hogan boots from WrestleMania 1. We also have his last WrestleMania boot against Vince McMahon, but we've got a lot of cool items. We've got some of Matt Cardona's figures we're going to have there, and we're going to have the Andre, we're going to have the Pat Patterson ring, and we've got this great belt that is going to be front and center at WrestleCon, the United States Heavyweight Championship. So looking forward to it. I got to tell you, that story that he was telling us, I got chills just hearing that story. I never knew all that information on it, and that was just amazing to me.
An amazing visit. Thank you so much, Kyota. I hope everybody goes and checks you out. You're at WrestleCon too, right?
Yeah, WrestleCon too. So I'll come see you, check you
out. Definitely stop by.
Definitely will, man. Yeah, definitely pass your contact over. Hey, Tony, just a quick question to you, as being a collector and everything. What are your top 3 WrestleManias of all time?
Well, mine would be 3. Probably 4 and then 5. Though that was my, when I was a youngster. And I'll tell you a quick story about WrestleMania 3. It was at the Pontiac Silverdome. I'm from Wisconsin. We didn't get to go to it, but I got my first. They reported on it on the evening news in Green Bay because Bob Uecker was there. So they reported on that, and I will never forget. They said Hulk goes the full 9 yards, and they had it on the sports section in Green Bay. But the next day I got to watch it, the scrambled version of WrestleMania. So I kind of saw Hulk slam Andre, and I kind of saw Macho Man and Steamboat, but it was kind of like the Chipmunks were talking. So it was kind of hard to see the whole thing, but, that was such a special time. The first one I ever actually got to watch pay-per-view was the Bam Bam Bigelow, Lawrence Taylor. That was the first one I got to really watch on pay-per-view. But those, the 80 WrestleMania 3, I was 11 years old, and it just meant the world. And also when Hogan lost to the Ultimate Warrior, that just crushed me. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. And then seeing the Macho Man win was obviously pretty cool. So those 3 are going to always stand out.
Yeah, Conrad's got a turnbuckle, right, from 4 or 5. Which one I had?
Yeah, I've got one
turnbuckles from 4 and 5 in Atlantic City. So
Hey, I do want to ask, Mike, since you asked Tony, what's your top 3 WrestleManias? You're uniquely qualified to answer this one.
yeah.
Our top 3 matches, either one.
I would. Well, the top. I can go with WrestleManias because there's so many matches, and I really hate to do that because I don't like to take away from the Kurt Angles and the Brock Lesnar's and Kurt Angle's Benoit's and stuff like that. Those matches were Eddie Guerrero and so forth. I'd say definitely Rock and Hogan was one of the best experiences at WrestleManias for myself and for the match itself. Then I'd probably have to say Stone Cold and Rock. I would put Rock in Austin first, where I took the chair shot in the first 10 minutes of the match. It got knocked out, and then that was huge for me. And Austin, Stone Cold, working with Stone Cold Steve Austin was phenomenal too as well. And I'd probably say Stone Cold Sean with Mike Tyson as the enforcer.
Wow. Big time moments, big time WrestleMania.
I know I'm really pulling out some stuff there too. I hate to leave some other matches.
You can't answer it all.
It's hard, because I hate to take away from technical matches and wrestling matches as well.
We're talking about moments. WrestleMania moments became a thing for a reason. You were in the ring for so many of those magical moments. We greatly appreciate you joining the show, and I hope everybody will check you out at WrestleCon, man.
You got it. Yes, thank you for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Seeing you. Hood. All right, Hood. Take care. I'll see you down the road.
All right, so John, right now, I think it's fair to say the entire internet is wondering, does WWE need to get their house in order? And maybe you need to get your house in order, and you should do what my wife and I did and check out Narwhal. Man, I'm a big believer in this because I like to do nothing at the house when I can. It might actually be my favorite thing. And there's one less thing I have to do thanks to Narwhal. We're talking how this is a real solution. Now, listen, you may have heard of robot vacuums before, but what they always struggle with are stubborn stains, or even worse, maybe there's dirt that gets spread around the house. Maybe it's dirt that your dog left behind. Maybe I'm speaking from experience. Let me just tell you, I have absolutely tapped out on the whole robot vacuum concept. But I have to admit, Narwhal sponsored today's show, and I am totally in love with this product. If you've ever had a robot vacuum that just pushes the dirt around or gets hopelessly tangled up in cords, you know the struggle I'm talking about. My wife and I went through a few, and everybody claims the exact same thing. Nobody can really deliver. But now they've got this flow wash mopping system. We're talking a real-time water infusion. Yeah, they've got 16 angled nozzles that spray fresh water continuously. They've also got a reverse rolling mop with warm water for that deeper cleaning. But how about this built-in maintenance-free scraper that's going to remove the dirt in real time? So we've got wastewater extraction and a storage system all in one unit right here. You're absolutely going to love Flow Wash, and you're going to wonder, why didn't I already have this? Narmind has a cool pro autonomous system too. I want to mention that this has unlimited object recognition. So when you're thinking about robots, you wonder like, hey, does it know where the chair is? Does it know where the rug is? Does it know where the doors are? Well, with Narwhal, you've got the dual RGB cameras, and you've also got the ability to recognize and clean accordingly. It's going to recognize those objects and then adjust the cleaning strategy all in real time. What I mean is this can adapt from wet to dry messes with dynamic cleaning and dual direction mopping. It's going to be smarter with every clean. Basically, it's doing a better job than you and I ever could. And the ability to know the difference between a wet mess and a dry mess, really cool. What we're going to use at my house, and I'm going to recommend for some of my pet friends, pet care mode. They've even got a baby care mode. How about that? You're going to love the powerful suction. It's got this carpet focused technology. It's got an all-in-one base station. It's even got AI power management that is going to protect the long-term battery health. If you want to keep your home spotless, if you want fresh floors, you need to go visit us.narwhal.com/Bruce. That's us.narwhal.com/Bruce.
Michael Barkan. Bark. Hi, Brad. I'll tell you, we've been doing this World League thing for, 15 years or so now, and never in my life have I seen a specimen like I have before me right now. This guy is John, the Hulk Man, Layfield. He likes pro wrestling, and he likes defensive players even better. What do you think of tonight's game, Lay?
Well, I'll tell you what, little man. I was down on Mount Olympus breaking blows with my bare hands. God said to me, he said, Hulkster, you got to go to Birmingham. There's a fire up brewing. So I ran down the ocean. 15 days and 15 nights I swam, dude. I fought hurricanes. I fought the sharks. The last 1,000 miles I ran on the world's largest storms. And now I'm here, dude, and the fire will be put out.
What do you think about the defense? I know they're tough. They're coming at you.
Well, I'll tell you what, dude. I talked to Norman Schwarzkopf, and he loaned me the world's largest Patriots. Not built by McDonnell Douglas, but built by the workouts and the vitamins, and talking to the big dude upstairs. And what you gonna do, Birmingham, when the world's largest storms and the San Antonio Riders run wild on you?
Welcome to another edition of Curtain Jerkers. I'm John Layfield, better known as JBL. Joined as always by my co-host Dan Blocker, Hoss Cartwright. He looks like a cross between Black Bart and the Missing Link. He is the Cassette Kid and one of the greatest wrestling families.
Black Bart.
In the history of wrestling, we've got a pillar of that family, Mr. David Crockett. Mr. Crockett, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much. Where's my hat?
Oh, yeah, you need.
Come on.
You want this one?
I know.
I go with the white hat. Now he's the villain. He's the heel. I'm the baby face.
No, I like his. I like his.
You don't like mine?
Nope.
It's on your head.
Is it because it's not the hat, it's me, right?
No, it's wrinkled.
It's wrinkled?
It's wrinkled.
No, your head's wrinkled.
It needs to be blocked. Isn't that what it is?
That's right.
Got to be blocked.
Yeah.
For a blockhead.
He's the Cassette Kid.
We are live at the 1FW Arena here in McDonough, Georgia.
I've already said all that, Cassette Kid.
Right.
We are.
Weren't you listening?
We are.
What is this?
We're here.
What did you invite me to?
He is as bad as Black Bart.
We've lost control already of this show. This one's going to be off the rails.
You've got one of the greatest guests we've ever had, and you've blown the whole damn thing.
All right, well, tell us about y'all's history. When did y'all start working together?
I worked for Mr. Crockett's brother, Jimmy Crockett.
Okay.
He put me with Dick Murdoch as a tag team. Murdoch used to always say to me, "Kid, you work hard, but you're the dumbest son of a bitch I've ever seen in my life." He'd tell me that every day.
And I can see Murdoch doing that.
Every day he'd start the match. Just go ahead and start the match, kid. When it turns to shit, tag me in. I'll straighten it out. Every day.
Yep.
So,
and he'll stay in there about 30 seconds.
That's right. That was it. Yeah. Do the Free Stooges gimmick and tag out. Yeah.
Then he'll tag you and he'll let you blow yourself up a little bit.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tag, and then he'll do his thing. Then he'll tag you again. Right?
Yeah. Murdoch picked me up one time. I was in Garland, Texas. I lived there with Bobby Duncombe Jr. I lived in the hood. Murdoch used to hate picking me up there. Said it was dangerous. So he never let me drive, and I'd have to hand him Coors Lights. You know, Murdoch loved the Coors Lights.
Oh, yeah.
But I had to hand him the mouth toward him, or he'd throw it out the window. I didn't know that. It took me a while to figure that out. So it's just me and him. He would sing "Take Me Drunk, I'm Home," which is a song he and Dusty wrote. Sounded like cows fucking. It was horrible. It was the worst music I've ever heard. He would sing it over and over. They wouldn't let me talk. So one morning he picks me up and he goes, "You're driving, kid." I said, "Okay." So I've never driven before, Dick Murdoch's truck. So I'm driving. We're going up to
you're driving his truck?
I'm driving his truck, yeah. Oh, yeah, he always had his truck. It was his truck. We're going up to like Ada, Oklahoma or somewhere to wrestle the Von Erich boys. And we were driving, and Murdoch looks terrible. Now, he looked terrible anyway, right? He looked like, as Black Bart was like, "You look like an upside-down light bulb." And Murdoch had his big belly, little big top.
Yeah. Skinny legs.
Skinny arms, tough as fuck. I mean, he was, bro, that son of a bitch he was a man. So we're driving up to Oklahoma. I said, "Dick, you need to pull over." "Shut up and drive, kid." I drove a little further. I goes, "Dick, you need to pull over." "Shut up and drive, kid." We get it to the Red River that separates Texas and Oklahoma. And I said, "Dick, you need me to pull over?" He goes, "Drive across the Red River, kid." I drove across the Red River. He said, "Pull over." He had pulled over and he threw up all over Oklahoma. And when he got in the truck, he goes, "Don't ever throw up in Texas." And I said,
I can see that.
That's right.
I can see that.
Said, everything I ever hoped you would be, you are right now. He did that just for me.
Yep.
Yeah, that's Murdoch. You know him. He was crazy.
Yeah.
But a great worker.
Mm-hmm. Really was. I mean, Dick was one of a kind. You'd have to know him.
That's
I mean,
right.
the stories about him don't do him justice.
No.
No. It just, boy. Yeah, and he just, smoke a cigarette, drink a beer. He and Dusty together, they were just priceless. They were.
They ended up down in Florida because they had an Appaloosa donkey in their, took it into a bar, and they're keeping it in their hotel room. And it should.
They're keeping the donkey in the hotel room.
Yeah, and the police, Dusty rode into the bar in Minnesota and shot up the ceiling. And Vern called Eddie Graham, says, you got to get them out of here. They're going to be arrested. So that's why they ended up in Florida, and they made a big name for themselves down there because of that Appaloosa donkey. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
But
I can't be true.
and everybody loved him. I mean, you couldn't have a straight guy. I mean, both of them were just, Murdoch just sort of, yeah, boy, yeah, okay. And Dusty's the mouth. Yeah.
Why did he throw the beer out if you didn't hand it to him correctly?
Because I didn't hand the mouth to him. And Dick took that as an insult. I didn't know that. It took me a while to figure it out. I had to ask some people, why is he throwing the beer out the window? Because I'd open up the beer and I'd hand it to him, and he wouldn't let me talk. And he'd say, Take Me Drunk, I'm Home, a song that by Six Pack Productions that him and Dusty sung.
Six Pack
Oh, yeah, he had the whole cassette tape and everything. Because you're the cassette kid, you should know this.
Yes, thank you.
And he would sing this song, and I had to hand him a beer, and he'd throw it out the window. I thought, why is he throwing every other beer out the window? Then I finally realized he's throwing it out if I don't hand it to him with the mouth at him.
Does that seem like something he would do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's driving, he has to pay attention.
He can't rotate a can.
No.
That would be dangerous.
Oh, that'd be dangerous.
He has to
on his
concentrate
23rd
on
beer as he's driving from Wichita
right.
Falls down to Fort Worth.
With a donkey in the back.
Well, you think about it. He's smoking and drinking and trying to drive at the same time.
And he's still got to sing.
Yeah.
I ain't got to sing yet.
What the hell's wrong with you?
That's dangerous.
But now, Mr. Crockett, I might argue he's not as crazy as, we'll get into a little story later, but Johnny Valentine was one of the craziest sumbitches ever walked on the planet.
He was crazy, but also one of the smartest when it came to ring savvy. Here's a guy that drives down the road listening to classical music and loves classical music. And he tells you that the only time he's at peace is when he's in the ring getting the hell beat out of him. He loves it. And he said the more they beat on him, the more he just feels this urge. It's the sensation of yes. He relieves himself.
Wait.
Yeah.
Boy, we escalated there.
Oh, you have no idea.
What do you mean relieved himself?
What do you think?
He's very relaxed.
Pooped? Peed?
No.
He orgasmed?
We can't poop or pee.
Well, you relieve yourself.
He's very relaxed after.
He's very relaxed.
Yeah. Well, he's not pooping or peeing because we're not going to clean it up.
Of course.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you made the face. I saw you made the face. I didn't know we were going to see David Crockett's O-face here on Curtain Jerkers, but we did.
How do you know that that's my face?
We don't, but you're right. John, did you ever relieve yourself in the ring?
I cannot say that I did, no. But I only wrestled Greg Valentine with Johnny watching. I never wrestled Johnny, so.
Yeah, so you weren't in there for
Well,
that.
Johnny, the first time out with Greg and Medusa, they were dating. Went to a restaurant, and Medusa feels something on her feet, and Johnny's relieving himself underneath the table on her feet.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
I do.
The same relieving is
No, different relieving.
See? Now there's different meanings.
No, but you got to know which one is which.
Why, did Greg get mad that he was
Greg thought
peeing
it was funny. I talked to Medusa about it. She's the one that told me the story. She said Greg thought it was funny. He starts laughing. She feels all this water coming on her feet. She can't figure out what it is. She finally realizes that Johnny's taking a leak on her. This is his potential daughter-in-law. First time he goes out to eat with her. Yeah. Johnny Valentine was nuts.
Johnny Valentine, especially if you have like the Salisbury steak that has gravy, you don't follow Johnny Valentine because Johnny Valentine will leave his own Salisbury steak in there. and covers it up.
Hey, why don't we stop that after the first time? As a company, maybe.
What do you mean stop it?
Quit shitting in the catering. We might have that meeting one time.
You don't know he's doing it unless you find it.
Yeah, what are you going to do? DNA test it?
Yeah.
How can you DNA test poop?
Well, I'm sure you can.
Somebody Google that.
He's not going to fess up to it, but you know it's him.
And you know there's fecal matter in catering.
Well, you don't know it until you find it. You find it one time, and that's it.
That's where the term shit eating grin came in.
Yep, that's right.
Great mind for the business. He invented a lot.
Yeah.
So I was on a plane one time, and you had, I'm not going to say who, Freebirds were riding with Vince, and they were telling a story about riding with Mr. Crockett and Mr. Crockett on their plane. And apparently they went behind the plane and they were doing something that when they turned on the jet engines, that it all got blown right down the runway. I'm not going to say what, the whole 8 ball. Blown right down the runway.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Apparently they had snuck back there. They were right by the jet engine and they're just about to hit this blow and the jet engine kicks up and the whole thing just goes right down the runway.
Beautiful.
You guys had to have some wild times. You guys had the Nature Boy. You guys had the Freebirds. You guys had Johnny Valentine. I mean, that's some legendary guys.
Oh, yeah. Well, and besides that, there were others. That liked nose candy. Quite a few of them back then, loved a little nose candy.
Yeah. A lot of guys didn't like cocaine. They just enjoyed the smell.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Smell it a couple times.
Yeah.
I feel like wrestlers in planes, a lot of chaos.
You think?
A lot of chaos.
You think?
You tell us a plane story. Tell us a fun plane story.
Well, the planes were, we had a G1, which was like a turboprop, and it held 16.
Okay.
And it had like a 600-mile range. Great plane for that. You could take wrestlers, drop them off, and then they could go do wrestle in the area. You could go back, pick them up after 5 days, let's say, come back, and you could drop them at certain points. But then they got to the point that they didn't take care of the plane. They left, they come in, eat a lot of chicken and stuff, and just leave a mess. I mean, total, like pigsty.
Did you have to throw anybody off? I mean, did you have, who specifically that you were sitting there, this guy can't go again?
I'd rather not say.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say Mr. Flair.
No, well, Rick ran around on a G1 naked with a bunch of guys. Big deal.
Yeah, big deal.
But he'd rather stay over. He'd rather stay over and fly first class the next day.
Oh, he wanted the private jet.
Yeah. Guy. Well, no, he wanted to spend the night.
Yeah.
Go to the hotel.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted to do. Because he wanted, as we talked about earlier, he wanted to beat people in the back of the head with his sausage.
His sausage.
All right, we all know that Ric Flair is famous for going on airplanes and coming out with his robe and his belt. Well, there's another thing that Rick loved to do was if women aren't paying attention to him and he's in the penthouse and he's got all these girls, if the woman has got her back to him, she's sitting on a couch, he comes out naked, and he just takes his Johnson and hits her on the head. That's what he does.
Different times.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think? You think?
I mean, that's why he, there on TBS, he promoted, hey, we're going to be at the Marriott there in Baltimore or the Omni or wherever it is. Yeah.
He was legit. It wasn't like a fake hotel. He's like,
no.
Let's go party. Here's where we're playing.
Yeah, and the hotel would be ready with security and so forth. Only women upstairs to whatever floor he's going to be on.
And I've seen Flair load up the bar with kamikazes and just.
Oh, yes.
I mean, load the bar up with as many glasses as they have. He'd buy them, and you're going to drink them till you're falling over.
Before the bar closed, it wouldn't be. He would order 60, maybe 70 kamikazes. Because if the bar closed and you still have them sitting there, you could just drink them.
What a life hack!
But the thing I learned is that Rick cannot drink brown liquor. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yes. Clear liquor, yes. Brown liquor, no. Anytime you want to put him under the table, brown liquor.
Tell us a fun Shivani story.
Oh, God, the first time he showed up, Jimmy and I looked at him, and I said, this is a kid. And I told him, I said, you need to grow a beard or a mustache because you look too young, period.
Wow.
Yeah, and so he did. He grew a mustache.
The rest was history.
Yeah.
You need to grow a beard like to cover up more of you.
Yeah. He was a baseball
Like if you could
announcer.
look like Sasquatch, like hair everywhere, it'd be better.
Yeah, he was a baseball announcer for my sister's baseball team. She owned a baseball team with the Oak Ridge Boys, a single A baseball team in Greensboro, North Carolina. And he came down, and we also owned a baseball team, a double A baseball team affiliated with Baltimore that was in Charlotte, and he came down and announced that game, and we were short an announcer, and Jimmy and I said, well, let's use him, try him out. The rest is history.
Hey.
My sister was pissed off.
That you stole her announcer.
Yes, I did.
And I bet after a while, you probably wanted to give him back.
That's not nice.
No.
That's not nice at all.
It's not, but you know, Tony.
Well, okay, that's fair. I didn't say it wasn't fair. I said it wasn't nice.
But I cannot believe Tony Schiavone's got the nastiest mouth in the world, and he teaches Sunday school.
Does he really?
Yeah. Can you believe that?
I had no idea. None.
He's a good Catholic boy.
I'm not sure the adjective's right. He may be a Catholic. I'm not sure he's a good Catholic.
Crockett, we got a game we're going to play real quick with JBL and yourself. It's called Crockett or Crock of Shit. I'm going to say a rumor
That's not nice at all.
Well, I'm going to say a rumor that
This is a legendary name in wrestling.
Yeah, I know. But that's Crockett means it's real.
He is a crock of shit.
Crock of shit.
Well, there's your first answer.
All right.
Crock of shit means it's false. I'm going to let you guess to see if it's real, JBL, and then he'll tell us if it's true.
Okay, go ahead. Let's go.
Crockett or Crock of shit. One time, David Crockett called a match under the desk because Ric Flair was really fighting someone close by. Crockett or Crock of shit?
Crockett.
Crock of shit.
Okay. One time on a, did you ever call a match under the desk or have to duck out of the way?
No.
They weren't doing table spots back then.
They did some, but no. If there was a fight taking place, I wanted to break it up.
Calling the action, break it up.
Yeah.
I went down to Mexico to call a pay-per-view down there, and they broke the English table down there. They did. Oh, you bastards. But I got down there and I said, surely you're not going to break the English table. We always broke the Spanish announce table because those guys had no rights. Fuck them. And I go down to Mexico City and they break our table. Damn near broke my legs.
Crockett or Crock of shit. David Crockett one time said on the hot mic, Ask JR, did the paychecks clear for the boys yet?
You had Shivani and JR?
Wait, is that Crockett or Crockett shit?
That's Crockett.
Crockett or Crockett shit?
Crock shit.
I told you.
Did you ever have a hot mic slip up?
Oh, yeah.
Let's hear about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, one time they told me the finish, and it didn't happen. So I said, that wasn't the finish.
On the mic during
On the mic.
broadcast.
My brother starts screaming in the mic. I said, well, it wasn't the finish. So I took the mic off. I took the headset off. I said, that was it. I said, never tell me the finish then. If you change the finish, then. So they never told me the finish again, which was fine.
You said that's not the finish.
Yeah.
Keep it kayfabe.
If they were going to tell me the finish, damn it, do the finish.
Vince McMahon told me one time, he goes, don't say a word here. And I said, don't say a word here. He goes, God damn it, John. I'm telling you not to talk. I repeated it.
Good point.
He told me.
Yeah.
Don't say a word.
He said, don't say a word here. I go, don't say a word here. He goes, God damn it, I'm done. Sorry.
Crockett or Crockett shit, David Crockett walked in on another man jerking another man off with a coat hanger.
Yes.
Oh, this is Crockett. This is Crockett.
I just said yes.
Yeah, but tell us the story.
Oh, you didn't ask that.
That was me just going, tell us the story. Could you tell us the story, please?
No.
John, what have you heard?
I've heard that there may or may not have been a couple of very legendary figures that may have used some garment hanging material, like a coat hanger, for one, to help relieve the other one by the coat hanger. That's what I've heard. It's a legendary story in wrestling circles.
Will you fill in the gaps?
Well, you've seen coat hangers used to roast marshmallows, right?
Yes.
If you can imagine a coat hanger
Yeah.
that is used to roast marshmallows, instead of the end being straight, it is curved around. All right? And then that, I don't know exactly how round it is.
Let's just
Yes?
do you want the bottle or the coat hanger? We're gonna do an experiment.
Oh, I bet.
Do you want the coat
No,
hanger?
I don't want either
You want
one.
the bottle?
I don't want knob
Hold
sticks
that.
either.
Hold that. Or maybe you should do this. So if this is it like this?
It's not a circle.
Oh, you had to make a circle right here.
You have to make a circle.
Well, you would have to know your partner very well to know how big to make the circle, right?
That's right.
And then do you make the circle and then like that?
Yeah. But you got to straighten this out a little bit.
Yeah, dude.
I
I think that's the point of the whole thing, is to straighten it out a little
Yeah.
bit. That's why we're doing it in the first place. John, you try it.
No,
John.
No, absolutely
John.
not. I've never was.
John, I'll gladly be this guy.
The territory.
No.
Here.
No.
I don't do it myself. It's kind of.
Why not? You do it. You've done it before.
Just hold that in.
No. No.
Just put it in your pocket.
No.
This seems very weird.
Well,
yeah. So tell me about it. I mean, why did we start with coat hangers? Why coat
I
hangers?
have no idea. To me, never mind.
Way to go, Cassette Kid. You just ruined our damn show.
That ruined it.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
There is Curtain Jerkers and the legendary Mr. David Crockett and the Cassette Kid.
Yeah!
All right, this time of year always makes me rethink what's in my closet. You know, I think we're all trying to keep fewer things. We're looking to consolidate. Well, here's what I'm looking for. Less stuff, but better stuff. And what I really want are pieces that are well made and easy to wear all the time. I want staples. I want my go-tos. And that's why I found myself continuing to come back to Quince. You know, these fabrics feel elevated, the fits are thoughtful, and the pricing actually makes sense. You know, Quince makes high quality everyday essentials using premium materials like 100% European linen and their insanely soft flow knit activewear fabric. Their men's linen pants and shirts are actually lightweight, breathable, and comfortable. They're the perfect layer for spring. And what's really cool about the pants is they have the right balance between laid back and refined. So you look put together without looking like you're trying too hard. But I think every guy listening is going to love the Flow Knit Activewear. You've got it moisture wicking. You've got an anti-odor. It's soft enough you'll actually want to wear it every day. And the best part, well, the prices are like 50 to 60% less than similar brands. Now, how are they able to afford this? Well, because Quince actually works directly with the ethical factories. So they're cutting out the middlemen. So you're paying for quality, not brand markup. Everything is designed to last and makes getting dressed easy. You're going to absolutely love Quince. I've actually given this as a gift to my dad. He absolutely loves it. You will too. Go right now. Refresh your wardrobe with Quince. Go to quince.com/wrestle. You'll get free shipping and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/wrestle for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/wrestle.
Next question, Jeff. Where are you? Right there.
Yeah. I just want to thank each and every one of y'all for all you've done to your bodies. It's still real to me, damn it. I mean, thank you.
Easy, man.
Thank y'all guys. Y'all are awesome.
Dave Wills, of course, famous. It's still real to me, damn it.
Yes.
Legend in the wrestling community.
Not hardly.
Tell us what that night was like for you.
Well, that was an interesting night. I got to meet my favorite wrestler, the Barbarian, who I will still argue if anybody that he could step into SmackDown or AEW or whatever. And
he can step in anywhere he wants.
Well, him and Bing can pretty much step in anywhere and take out anybody they want anyways, like you said.
That's what I just said.
As a matter of fact, when I was talking to Barb, we were talking about matches that we wish we could have seen, shoot matches. And we were thinking that one match that would be stiff as hell would be Ming and Barbarian against Ron Simmons and JBL.
Whoa!
God, I would have loved to see that. That would have been awesome. But getting back that night, I got to meet Barb. I got to see Jerry Lawler. I got to talk to Cactus Jack. They were doing an interview right up there. Terry Funk, the people in the ring were Terry Funk, Dennis Condrey, Bobby Eaton, and Jim Cornette. Bill Apter had a mic. And they were talking about how when you get right down to it.
Is Bill Apter do the worst impersonations ever? I mean, I don't mean to cut you off. They're
No,
like they're all the same thing. It's like, here's me doing Cassette Kid. Here's me doing Conrad. Here's me doing Jerry Lawler. They're all the exact same fucking thing, and he just like says different names.
I seen him doing a Hulk Hogan promo for Real American Beer. I'm like, isn't this kind of like a married man doing a commercial for Tinder? I mean, come on, give me a break. He don't even drink. You know?
Oh, there we go.
Apter doesn't or Hogan doesn't?
No, Apter doesn't. Hogan doesn't anymore.
Now, Apter was doing... Wow.
Well, it's true.
Wow.
It's
wow.
true.
Dead joke. Now, Apter was doing a commercial for...
He was filming a little promo there, yeah.
Now, I love Bill Apter. I really do. He's a good friend. I like him a lot. I just, his impersonations are just really bad.
There's something else
He should drink.
As a matter of fact, I'd highly recommend it, yes.
Yeah.
You know what you're talking about, for sure. In yesteryear, of course.
Yes, in yesteryear, yeah.
In yesteryear.
Yeah.
But, I met a lot of my favorite wrestlers. They were talking about, there was a lot of deaths in wrestling at the time, focus on musculature and stuff like that, and a lot of oversized hearts and everything. And when you get right down to it,
I've got an oversized heart.
He got an oversized heart.
It's overworked,
oh my God,
heart.
yeah.
Overworked heart. None of my clothes are oversized.
Somebody told us that's a really nice shirt. They said, who blew it up for you? That's what they said. I didn't find that funny.
Ringling Brothers when Verna Bailey lost her tent. What can I say?
Wow.
The way it goes.
That wasn't nice. That wasn't nice at all.
No.
I was joking about the shirt like being blown up. It's like, but
I wasn't trying to burn him like Eddie Gilbert does, but that's beside the point.
He brought up like bringing brothers and tents and shit, and that's not funny.
No.
Factual, but
I didn't say it wasn't factual. I said it wasn't funny. It was mean. It was very mean-spirited.
Yeah. Still mean to me,
I was just in St. Thomas, Canada, and that's where Jumbo died, the elephant.
What?
I was just in
I did a joke, everyone laughed, and I turned around and you're like, Jumbo, the elephant.
He died in St. Thomas, Canada. I was up there with Ray Borg and Marcel Dion, a bunch of hockey players, doing this fundraiser gimmick, and I found out that Jumbo had gotten off the train there, and some fucking train hit him and killed the big-ass elephant. So when I got up, the people started booing me because they think I get booed in Canada. And I said, you guys killed Jumbo. So fuck them.
I'm glad you got that off your chest. It sounds like it's been eating you alive for years.
Not years. It was a couple weeks ago when I was up there. I found out that Jumbo got killed. They had, like, the hotel I was staying at, they had a Jumbo room. Well, it's not funny. The Jumbo's dead. You guys killed him. They killed Jumbo. And then they put his picture up everywhere and try to make, like, tourist attractions out of a dead elephant. That was P.T. Barnum. That's the correlation here.
Here on Current Jerker, she found out JBL is a fan of Jumbo the elephant. In Canada, he blames you for his death.
Yes. Canada, you killed Jumbo.
Did you get to meet Jumbo that night? You
No.
met everybody else.
Did he get to meet did he meet Jumbo? No, I didn't know he'd get to meet Jumbo, but you know.
He was real to me, damn it.
I believe he was.
He was. And they killed him. Why couldn't they kill Chimmel?
So we're almost back to that night. You're in the house.
They were talking about deaths in wrestling. Terry Funk says, hey, wrestling's got a problem. He says, if you trace any town of any size back, you see every town's got a crack house. Even Spartanburg, South Carolina's got one. If you trace it back 5 years, we'll see there's more deaths in pro wrestling in the last 5 years than there's been at that crack house. Wrestling needs to clean themselves up and get themselves cleaned up. And I wanted to stand up and say, thank you for what you did to your bodies. I appreciate what you did. And I appreciate your sacrifices for my entertainment, because you can call it whatever you want, but I'll be damned if it's ever fake. It ain't.
Yeah, and how many death pulls has Michael Hayes screwed up?
Freebird will never change. Yeah.
Michael's actually passed away years ago. He just won't go to the cemetery. He's the one that taught Glenn Armstrong how to moonwalk.
Him and Chick Donovan are going to be around forever. No doubt about it.
That's on you.
Indeed. What's your excuse? Exactly. Oh, man. I'm still trying to figure out what he's doing besides laughing and keep his eyes closed. You got Dylan over here cracking up over here, filming the show left and right. Anyway.
So you got any more questions, Cassette Kid?
I'm trying to get to the part where he screams it's real to me, damn it.
We'll get to the part.
Wow.
And he's a host?
No, he's not supposed to be, but he like takes over. Conrad always yells at me, John, you're supposed to be running this. But Cassette Kid comes out here wearing a cowboy hat, he takes over the damn show. Same thing happened to fucking Jumbo up in Canada.
That's the problem. Everybody wants to get themselves over.
That's right.
Everybody wants clout for no reason.
You look like Black Bart's grandson up here. You long, tall drink of shit. That's what Bart used to call me all the time.
God, he was great.
He used to tell me all the time. He'd sit there, he got a big trash can between his legs, and he'd spit it everywhere he went. Anybody knows Bart would know exactly what he'd do. He'd spit it, and he'd hear my cowbell, and he goes, I hate hearing that cowbell because that long, tall drink of shit John Hawk's with it. That's what he said every day. I didn't find it funny.
No. But when I was in a shootout with him, and Bull Man Downs had lost a whole bunch of weight and everything, and so had I. We'd both dropped a bunch of weight on keto. And Black Bart looks over there at Bull Man, he goes, hey, Bull Man, you look like you lost half a bull, because he had dropped he went from like 300 to about 230 and everything. Good Lord. He was in good shape. Mike's a great guy. I love Bull Man down.
Mark told me, he said, he goes, Johnny, I got, colon cancer. I said, that's like a giraffe with strep throat. It's major. Bart had a big ass. Big ass.
I got it.
And how?
Bart and I were good buddies. Don't get hot, Cassie.
He's got a hell of a book, too. People ought to read that
Bart
book.
I love Bart.
Bart is fantastic.
Bart was my big brother.
He's fantastic. I thought the world would like Bart. Enjoyed meeting him, enjoyed watching him and everything.
We were driving one time with Dick Murdoch, and Murdoch kept punching him and chopping him, pinching his nipples, and Bart goes, Diggy, one more time. You find a patch of green grass, and we're going to settle this. I love you, and I respect you. We're going to shake hands after, but we're going to fight. And Dick says, you want to fight me, you fat bastard? Bart said, Dickie, that's what I just said. You find a patch of green grass, we're going to pull over, and we're going to fight. We're going to shake hands after. So I'm sitting in the back thinking, what do I do? I mean, I got these two guys about to fight. I have no idea I've never, what do I, stop it? Do I watch it? What if one of them really beats the other up really bad? So Dick pulls over, Bart gets out, Dick drives off and leaves him. Yeah. I thought, well, I'm going to do nothing now. Akbar picked up Bart and brought him to the building.
Poor Black Bart.
Yeah. Bart was the best.
Bart was great. Oh, man. Great guy.
So did you have any questions, Cassette?
No, I don't want to get myself over.
For somebody who's a host, anyways.
He's not a host.
Well, he thinks he is.
Yes, he does. Come out here wearing a cowboy hat, making fun of Jumbo.
It's a cosplay wrestling world nowadays. What can I say? No, but getting back to your question that you can't get out of your systems, that you can't host it, I'll go ahead and host our own show with Mr. JBL.
Now you're hosting, cool.
Well, no, I
get a cowboy hat.
Well, no, why I did do that? Hey, you're already over. I'm here to sit and make you look good. What are you talking about?
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I know who the talent is. Believe me.
You can make knobs look good.
I got a better chance with him than him.
All right.
Yeah, but went out there and spoke up and wanted to say thank you for your sacrifices for your bodies and everything. And well, it didn't quite come out right, and then maybe it did, but wound up saying it still ruined me. Damn it! It went viral, and oh well, what can you do? It's the way it goes. For what it's worth, I guess that's the kind of, you're a wrestling god, you have immortality. That saying's going to be around. I'm dead and gone, whether I want to be or not. So, hey, that's the immortality. Him, he's wearing a cowboy hat and making fun of Jumbo.
Yeah.
That's immoral. That's
bad person. Bad person.
Bad.
I came up wrestling god, I'd been drinking a little bit. We'd wrestled earlier, and some match had gone a little short. They said, hey, guys, we got to kill some time. We're going to do a celebration backstage. And I said, guys, I've been drinking. They go, that's okay. It's a celebration. And so that's when I came up with the wrestling god. I was back there with Teddy Long. I'm a god. Yeah, I'm a god. I'm a wrestling god. Yeah. I don't remember what I said. And the next week I come out and somebody had wrestling god signs all over the arena. So that's where it happened.
Rule number one.
Genius you are.
Rule number one, get over.
Genius, that's right.
Rule number one, get over. Number two, who else cares? You're over.
That's right. That's right.
That's exactly right.
So, final question. Is it fake now?
You maybe, but no. Wrestling is still real. JBL is definitely still real to me, damn it. The wrestling god, JBL is still real. And Curtain Jerkers is always still real to me, damn it.
Yes. And it's real to me too, damn it. What about you?
I'm already over. I'm good.
What a dick.
All right, there we go, JBL.
Where are you starting or my little fuck?
I don't know who's starting. We're ending another episode of Curtain Jerkers. We call that My Two Daves episode. Or Two Daves, one episode.
Wait a minute, we call that My Two Daves? We have a name for it?
Yeah.
Like, when have these some bitches ever been together that you're calling like Two Daves?
Today,
like Dave Crockett and Still Real to Me.
Yeah. I don't think either one of them liked me for some reason.
They're smart guys. I mean, really.
Now, Crockett, we got out of there unscathed. Dave Wells, he was really excited to talk to you, not so much me. I mean, he turned his whole body and everything.
Yeah, he told me, he went like this. He goes, that guy there. He goes, that guy there. He goes, don't fucking like him. Do not like him at all. And I said, you mean Cassio? He goes, yeah, that guy there, that guy there. And I said, well, I'm sorry. Cassio's actually a really good guy. He goes, I don't like him.
What did your shirt say, by the way?
It says arrive, clothesline, somebody leave.
Okay.
I've also got a Bradshaw 316 shirt, which says, I just stole your fucking podcast.
We also need one that says arrive, coat hanger, and then leave.
Oh my God. That's the worst. Yeah, we're going to get back to coat hanger. We're also going to get a Bradshaw 369, which says, quit flogging your mule. Now, this coat hanger, where did the living blue hell? Where do you even think about things like this?
Hopefully, we after running it by with Tony and running it by with Dave. Hopefully, we're going to retire the coat hanger for a while, unless it's going to be our running gag.
We were like flogging mules for like the first 2 weeks, and now we're coat hangering.
Yeah,
I mean, this is really demented stuff. This is
arrive,
not like,
curtain jerk, leave. That's what we do.
This is not like high-end comedy or high-end entertainment. This is like really low. Yeah, this is lowbrow as you get. This is flogging your mule in a tanning bed with a coat hanger comedy. Right? It's not comedy; it's real life.
And now Dave Wells. It's still real to me, damn it. Such a great guy.
Yes, good guy. Very good guy.
Great to talk to him. I mean, that's the guy you want to be a wrestling fan right there. He is supportive to the end. And, he was a little off with me. He loved you. Now, we should pull the curtain back. Our buddy Corey Ryan Forster, he did not get along very well with Corey Ryan Forster. For those that need to know, after that, our buddy Corey Ron Forster said, hey, I got an idea. I got Wales, man. Y'all mind if I do it? And we're like, yeah, go over there and do it. So he goes and gets set up. Me and you and a couple other people were just chatting to the side when we hear yelling, full-blown yelling.
Yeah. Full-blown MFing, full-blown effing. I mean, we heard some real freaking yelling going on.
Now, I don't know what you thought, but I thought it was a work at first. I thought, that was Corey's plan, was to get, have a fake heat with Dave. It was not. It was real heat.
It was real heat. And I thought the same thing. I thought, surely they're not yelling at each other like this right in front of everybody right now. And they were wanting to fight each other.
I'm pretty sure Corey blamed it. He claims he, allegedly, reportedly snorted an Adderall in his truck right before that. I think that probably.
he what?
Well, you got to get focused. You see, if you take the Adderall, it takes a while to digest. So if you just snort it, it'll go right into your brain.
You snort Adderall?
I don't. Look at me. I would be thin. Adderall gives you energy and curbs your appetite, and makes you focus.
What does it do to you?
Gets you locked in.
Why don't you just take it? You snorting it gets it quicker in your system or something?
Yeah, normal people do. Drug addicts like Corey Forster, he snorts it. He snorts whatever you hand him.
He's a drug addict.
Yeah, one time I gave him. We were eating lunch at catering. And he was like, y'all have any salt? And I gave him one of those packets. He put it out, snorted it, and then ate his food. He's just so used to it.
He told me one day, he goes, he doesn't like cocaine. He just enjoys the smell.
Yeah, it's no big deal to him. But he got in a fight. Apparently, Dave Wells is good friends with Abdullah the Butcher. And Corey did not know that. Either way, it didn't matter if he knew it or not. He started going in on Abdullah. Dave was like, hey, I'm not going to let you talk about my friend. And then it escalated. Corey, of course, was he was rocking and rolling. Yeah, I thought it was going to be fisticuffs. Who would you take in a fight, Corey or Dave?
Ooh, interesting point. Good point.
That's be tough.
I think it's still real to me. Damn it! I got to back. It's still real to me. Damn it! I got to back Dave.
He's got experience.
No offense, Corey. No offense whatsoever. But Dave seemed like a pretty salty dude.
Probably got that old man strength. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that old man strength where they just grab you and go. I can't get loose. I can't get loose.
He said he's lost some weight, so now he's got a little more energy. You know what I mean?
Brock Lesnar grabbed me one time backstage, and he was just messing around. And I said, Brock, you've hurt me, and I don't know how bad. If you'll let me go, I'll assess the damage and see if I need to go to the hospital. I was sitting backstage, and I poured some like Lucky Charms out of the catering into my hand, and I was about to eat it, and Brock walked by and hit my hand and knocked it like a kid, knocked it all up over everywhere. So I walked by him, and he's on his phone, and I hit his elbow. And when I do, I knocked his phone down the hall. And I thought, okay, that was a little bit of too big of a response. I think I'm just going to keep walking like maybe I didn't do it. And then Brock grabbed me and goes, rah! And I go, I'm broken. I'm actually broken. I don't know how bad. I know that I'm hurt, and I probably should get an ambulance.
I wish that would have happened between Dave and Corey. I really do.
I think Dave might have that old man strength.
I think he was Brock Lesnar in that scenario.
I think he was too.
And instead of Lucky Charms, Corey had a handful of crushed up drugs. It was
oh my God.
You know, if you got Lucky Charms, if you had baking soda, it's just crack. It's no big.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. I thought it was like cereal, like cover.
I didn't see you eating dry Lucky Charms. I did not have that on my bingo card.
It's like, as a kid, I like Lucky Charms. That's why I hate Hornswoggle, because he's a fake leprechaun. That's why I hit him with trash cans, because he's a little bastard. And so when I got older, I don't want to eat it because it's bad for you. So occasionally during catering, I go in there and I see those Lucky Charms without anybody looking around. I just put some in my hand. I just eat them right quick. I wouldn't put them in a bowl. I just put them in my hand right quick, eat them right quick, and then put the box back.
You need those little, instead of the baseball helmets, they serve ice cream. You need little tiny cowboy hats that you serve cereal in. That's
right. Hey, one time Vince went on this big spiel about we've got to be serious. We got to be real. It's got to be realistic. That's what it's got to be. And then later that day, he had Hornswoggle going through a thing in the wall. Like the old cartoon, you have like a black door in the wall, and he had Hornswoggle walking through the wall, and somebody else tried to walk through and hit the wall. And that was right the same day that Vince said, "We've got to be realistic here." Yeah. And by the way, they tried to catch Hornswoggle that day with Lucky Charms. They were trying to catch him. They had like a net on, set up for him. Yeah. They were trying to catch him, so they had like a trail of Lucky Charms, and you go in there. It's like a Wiley and the Roadrunner. And you had like this big net that was going to come down and get him. And that was the same day Vince told us that we got to be realistic with our wrestling.
Well, it's still realistic to me, damn it, as we learned. And to Dave Wells, Dave Crockett and Dave, my two Daves, they did very good.
I thought they did very well. Very well.
We had some fun with them, had some fun. That was our first couple in front of a live studio audience as well. So, that was super fun. And we need, next week, JBL, do you know who our guest is next week?
I have no idea.
Easy himself, Mr. Bischoff.
Yes. 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 He tells the greatest story in this thing with
It's going to be so good. Arrive, curtain jerk, and leave.
By the way, I know you're going into wrapping up and all that because you're a great host. You're like a wonderful host.
It's not what you told every one of our guests. But
no, I told everybody else something completely different. But I'm either lying to you or lying to them. And then I don't want
Conrad stuck me with him. I think is what I keep hearing.
That's right. That's right. Conrad, by the way, is the greatest crowd control person ever. That's all we want to say.
He's the best. He's the best. Well, we did it again. 2 days, 1 episode. We arrived. We curtain jerked. We will do it again. Next week, Eric Bischoff himself. Hope y'all enjoy it. For JBL, I'm Cassio. Still real to us, damn it.
Yes, it is.